I actually set a goal for myself to be on time this week, and so I've accomplished my goal. 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Outlaw Radio live on a Monday evening. It was a beautiful Monday evening. I don't know what's about to happen with the I don't know, it's supposed to be a storm coming through. Threat to tornadoes in some part of our state. I don't know. But look, I'm in the house now, so it's all good. Welcome to Outlaw Radio, man. Like I said, my name is Kevin Barnes. I'm the host of Outlaw Radio. It is a foundational Black American platform to discuss all things that are relevant and pertinent to us. So welcome to the show. You don't like delineation, or if you're not delineated, you can still stay, but mind your business. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome to the show. Any and everybody who's Black, it's all good. Mr. Carter, how you doing tonight, my brother?
Man, I'm well. I'm doing well today, and it was beautiful out there today, man. Me and my dog took a nice long walk, man. It was beautiful. But how y'all doing out there? And welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk, and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the Black lover, the Black man, the culture, the healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama, there go the same most man. I'm trying to tell you, man, come on up to the House of Vitality and pay me a visit.
There you go, man. Support Black business. I listen. It's not. I don't have to dress it up. You don't got to add a lot of bells and whistles. It's not even really complicated. Support Black business, and we always, with everything Black, there has to be some sort of stipulation placed on it, or the attempt to place a stipulation on it. And people say, well, they don't make everything, and we don't own this, and I still got to go to the white man. Okay, support Black business where you can. If there is something that you use, or some service or whatever, and that someone who's Black, patronize them. Just make it that simple. It doesn't. We're not asking you to only the only money I spend is Black, because we don't own certain things, but where you can make an effort. Shabaka's in the chat room early. He says, greetings, Outlaws. How you doing, my brother? If y'all want to get involved with this show, phone number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. Mondays and Wednesdays are when we come on. Monday nights, we usually just go live, man, and come off the head, come off the dome, just kind of close out the weekend, because we haven't been on since last Wednesday. So there's normally a gap in between when we do shows. So Wednesday is more topical. We get a little bit more specific on Wednesday. But welcome to the show, Either Hugh. Once again, it's 262-202-5131. You can jump in the chat room, and we rock with our chat room very hard. And people in the beginning of the show, they said, well, why would I want to call? Why would I want to put something in the chat room? Because these conversations get real, right? And we haven't done a show yet where something didn't come up, or something was said where people didn't have a reaction to say, you know what? Hell no. Or hell yeah. It depends on
Fuck the side. Shit.
Fuck the shit. Skittles and rainbows. Yeah. So I really treasure and value the ability to communicate with people this way, because like I said, you could either put it in the chat room, or you can call in and actually speak. And some of y'all who have businesses, or have movements, or have anything you want to promote, you can actually come on. So many people over the years have been on Outlaw Radio. So come on in, man. Go to our YouTube page. It's like 300 shows on there. Right, 300. On my Facebook page, there's hundreds. I don't even know how many on. And so there's a lot to unpack here, as Austin Doer once said. I know y'all don't know who Austin Doer is. But yes. It's Happy Monday it was. Like I said, I'm one of those dudes who appreciates the rain. So if it's a little precipitation later on, I'll be chilling, sitting outside like, oh, it's the first warm rain. Because it was like 70-something degrees, which is cool with me.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. How was your weekend, man? You do anything spectacular, anything fabulous?
Well, I hung out with my dog, man. Time with my dog. when I ain't busy doing nothing, you know what I mean? I get to do that. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So for OG like me, man, you know what I mean? That's part of one of the best parts of life right now. You know what I'm saying? Being able to just kick back with your dog and take a nice long walk outside, and you know what I mean? Man, it's good. So just being able to, you know what I'm saying, be me, man. It was a dope weekend. I ain't go nowhere. Like I say, I just have fun with my dog, man. Me and my dog.
You sound like a super old man, like me and my dog, me and my dog, me and my dog. You riding around in a Sanford and Son pickup truck with your dog and shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
but,
man.
I'm gonna tell you, man, I had dogs all through my life growing up.
Okay.
I think this time is like, I think I might have the best connection that I had with any dog.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying with this one.
My brother was a dog guy. My father was as well. So when I grew up, we always had a dog. Like no matter, and my father had hunting dogs, and you know he had dogs at his shop dogs, right?
Right.
So always a dog around. So I just haven't had one. I had one when I was in high school, which was cool.
It's different now.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. That's what I'm saying. If I can expand a little bit on the space I got, I would go and give me one. I just right here, just where I'm at now, I wouldn't want a dog. It's just not enough space. It's not because I need more. I need more gapsuation. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it.
I know what you're talking about.
Right. Shabaka says Sin City's getting hot. I bet you it is. Shit, do it ever cool off? He said, I'm deleting brain dead motherfuckers off my friend list. I'm arguing idiots about Ali. Again, working, delete, block more often. He said a dog is the most loyal person alive. A dog is man's best friend.
I'm gonna tell you too, man. They probably smarter than a lot of people too.
Instinctively, maybe. Yeah, not the ability to articulate, but I wouldn't.
Right.
Like he hear and see and smell things that you don't. So he has a different awareness. So you're right. He probably be able to tell you, you don't know what be going on in the house when his lights go off at night. You're cracking. You be knocked out.
Right.
What up,
he be
Dion?
on patrol too.
Right. And he can see in the dark. So
yeah, he be on patrol.
Yeah, man. Dion said, get you a motherfucking dog, Kev. Ain't no excuse. Nah, man. I can't because I can't really do the long walk. So I need enough space. And when I let him out in the yard, he can go out there and get bucked. Because if you tear up shit in the house, your ass going to the Humane Society. So that's it. We don't do that. You chew on one thing, you moving. Your ass will be up for adoption. So I want to give you the opportunity to exercise as much as you can. So you'll be tired when you're in the house. Like, I don't even feel like doing shit. So, but yeah, we'll see, man.
We come back from that long walk, man. That nigga stretch out on the floor and be knocked.
Trying to tell you. That's why my brother would take his dogs and go up to King and he just let them run. And he be throwing stuff and they be going to get it. Then we come home, we be like, yeah, he gonna be knocked tonight. We get home, boom. He like, look at it.
Right up.
Man, dog whisperer.
Go lay right the fuck down somewhere.
He said, dog will save your life. Remember, they have high-powered ears. So does my 9mm, right? I'm being facetious. Listen, my weekend was smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just laying back, just chilling, man. I like cooking, man. All of a sudden, I really like cooking, man. I made me some actual authentic Maryland crab cakes. Because you know what I'm saying, we eat seafood and I buy the crab cakes out the store, and I'm like, this ain't it. But if you haven't really had an authentic one with like crab and all that kind of stuff, man, yeah, it was dope, man. It was delicious. My wife always make fun of the way I cook because she like because I come on, I wing it, man. I feel it in my elbow when I need to start putting seasoning on it, so I'm
right.
Where's your measuring spoon?
Fuck that.
Right. And I will add some shit too. That ain't on the recipe.
Measuring spoon, nigga.
Man, there you go. Yeah. But it was cool because we actually ended up working together. And so she did come in and she worked the measuring spoons and all that. I was just cutting up and cooking. So it was cool. That was my weekend though, man. Still waiting to get a little bit warmer so I can get out here with one of my machines, start running. But other than that, I was chilling. I, like everybody else, was watching, paying attention to the NFL draft. I don't talk about Shedeur Sanders tonight because I think that there's some underlying stuff to this that I want to kind of put out here and see if other brothers agree with me. I see you, DeVille Willis. Y'all share the show. It's Outlaw Radio on a Monday evening. Outlaw Radio Live. He said Outlaws. No doubt. Dion said, I've been sick all motherfucking weekend from food poisoning. I'll never eat at Dunkin' Donuts again. Right. I mean,
What's something that'll clear that gut out?
What did you eat at Dunkin' Donuts that you got food poisoning from?
Shit, you shouldn't have been eating anyway.
I knew you was gonna say that. You should have been eating there anyways.
You know, man, I gotta go there, right?
Yeah, no doubt. That's messed up. But like I said, I did. Okay, so we have to start off with things that are important, and I just have to call attention to this because it's a hot topic. Your President Trump's approval rating after 100 days came out today, and there's so many different polls. I don't know how much credibility these polls have, but I do believe that they are indicators when it comes to voters and when it comes to people and how we feel about, and I don't know who they even actually poll because nobody's ever called me. I'm not on the list. So that's why I say I kind of question the validity of them, but they mean something. There's some validity to some of them. And Trump has the lowest president approval rating in 7 decades, 31% after 100 days. And once again, I keep saying, okay, so let me go back in the chat room because Dion, he said he ate a croissant sandwich, Kamar. Yeah, that sound like it'd tear your stomach up, a croissant sandwich. Orlando Owens in the chat room, he said Trump 2028. Really? After all this, still? Okay. Dion said, fuck Trump and anyone who voted for him. Shabaka says the dump belongs in jail, send his ass to Alcatraz. Dion, that's interesting that you say Trump 2028, because once again, you must see something that the rest of us don't. But I want to talk about his approval rating, Kamar, simply because I want to keep kind of going back to what we said when we were faced with the discussion that Trump would come in with all these heinous policies. He would destroy democracy as we know it. He would ruin his country. He's going to start a civil war. The list goes on and on and on, as they say, et cetera, et cetera. But my only recourse for that was my faith is in the hands of the people. Like I felt like then once he's in and everybody really see who's behind the curtain in terms of, going off to see the wizard, then they would say, oh, hell no, we fucked up and we ain't going for this. So once again, we predicted political upheaval. We predicted legal processes that are holding things up in court because I think people are saying, hold on, man, hold on. Something about this ain't cool, right? So I think it's telling 31% is pretty low for an approval rating. You know what I'm saying? And although people want to paint this picture that it's partisan, it's the Democrats. No, it's not. There's Republicans who voted for him and people who identify as Republicans who are now saying, oh, hell no, man. This is crazy. I'm not with this. I'm putting that in layman's terms, of course. So it's very interesting that Orlando, a black man, would say Trump 2028. We ain't even out of 2025 yet. He talking about Trump 2028. Woo, that is some delicious Kool-Aid over there, man. Good Lord. If he turns this around, Kamar, see, this is one of them situations where I would love to be proven. I would love to be proven wrong, right? So say a year from now, everything in America's popping. I would prefer that. So I could say, you know what?
Yeah.
Dang. But that's not how this shit works. So we know that. And he's getting more and more ridiculous. I mean, come up with a bill, an executive order for teachers to discipline kids in school. Like we really trying to go back to the one-room schoolhouse and the kids can get paddled. I'm glad my kids ain't in school no more. Well, and because I would have a problem with the teachers. I'm whoop your ass. Oh, no, you won't. No, you ain't gonna do that.
Right.
We ain't doing that. He said, this Shabaka, he said the Yassa bosses had a sit-in at the steps of the U.S. Congress. Republicans got their heads bumped. That's what he said. He said, control the border. Orlando, what the fuck are you talking about?
Where did that come from? Like,
right, that is what do you have Tourette's? What kind of shit? Control the border. You sound like a random old white dude in the back of the room and shit.
Skittles and rainbows.
Right. Rainbows is count. Like, what are you talking about, Orlando? He said control the border. Okay. It's okay for you to say that.
Oh, maybe it looked like him and Dion talking. It looked like Dion commenting on what he said or something.
Well, of course, you know they're gonna go back and forth. The whole
that probably wasn't for us.
but let me ask you this. Okay, control the border. That's a great concept, but at what price?
Sound
what
like
price?
A motherfucker with Tourette's.
Wow. He says, this is Dion. He said Orlando is delusional, and for him to even say that tells you what type of man he is, and that's a dangerous person. I mean, if I go anywhere with Orlando and it's a Republican function, if I got beef, I don't expect him to help me. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If I get to fighting at the Republican Party, I know Orlando ain't jumping in it to help.
Right. I'm not gonna be mad at him. I already know.
Right, no, he didn't. You know, that tiger didn't go crazy. That tiger went tiger, right? Right. He said he head bumped is a South Central term, meaning they got bullshitted. Okay. He said that EO never said about putting hands on kids. It didn't. I didn't say it did. I said discipline. I didn't say it said that other people were making that assumption. But what does that mean? Because teachers already have the right to discipline kids in school. Why is there a need for an executive order for this? What do you mean? So that means however they see fit. See, Orlando, I'm not falling into that trap. I'm not that dude who does that. I was very careful when I said exactly what it was. You didn't hear me say Trump made it illegal to whoop our kids in school again. I didn't say that. So there you go. He said Dion is always with that bull. Bro, you literally said control the border. Out of nowhere. And he said Trump 2028. Orlando, you know black people are going to react to you like that when I don't. You know what I mean? But of course, there's some brothers who are going to say, oh man, you buck dancing ass dude. Like said Outlaws, if I was to get back on StreamYard, would Outlaws be interested in working with me? I told you, man, Shabaka, you just had to hit me up because I can walk you through how to really whip StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? If you just need to know how to work your page, it's not very hard. It's actually pretty intuitive. And you just got to know what buttons to hit, right? But it's pretty self-explanatory. That's what I said. Just hit me up, man. I've talked to you before. We've had conversations. Just let me know. But like I said, once again with the whole approval rating thing and with the protests, and we seen today. When was this? It was Saturday when they protested. Whenever it was when they protested because this judge here, I guess they have it for obstruction of justice because allegedly she tried to hide a Mexican immigrant who was facing some domestic violence and battery charges. So I guess they had come up with a plan, because ICE has been at the courthouse snatching people. Meet your ass, meet you at the courthouse. Right. I know how to catch you. So they've been arrested, they've been detaining people. We've seen news footage of this and this kind of thing. And so now this is where this gets shady for me. And I was reading and I try my best not to read slanted. Because I know that this is right now a pivotal political topic, because this is kind of like, okay, a judge has been arrested and put in jail for obstruction of justice for trying to hide an immigrant. And the right is saying this is what we're talking about. These liberal leftist judges, they don't care. Now, my question would be, I don't quite understand why she sent this individual through a hallway in which access is restricted to usually just, I guess, deputies, judges, lawyers, or what have you. I don't know why she did that. I couldn't find any explanation of that, because if that's what she did, knowing that they were outside trying to arrest him, I think that is obstruction, ain't it, Kamar?
There's definitely obstruction.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that can also be harboring a fugitive, which she did. They said she took him through the court door and shit, out the other way.
Right.
That could be something like harboring a fugitive or aiding in abetting or some shit, all kind of shit. She should be getting charged for. Let me fuck around and get and snatch an illegal up and bring him to my house and shit. You know what I mean? And hide him from ICE.
Well, fuck an immigrant, Kamar. If I did that for you, if they came looking for you at my house and I was holding you there and then I helped you get out, they're gonna arrest me for obstruction of justice.
All that and then some.
Right. So I didn't see your call when you called, Orlando. I wasn't trying to ignore you. Let me see. Let me get back to that. Let's see. He said, what did about this is Dion. He said it's corporal punishment. Sounds like it. It amounts. He's talking about the discipline, the executive order for disciplining our children in school. Ewok said the tap dancer in the chat. Ha. Ewok. Shout out to Ewok. He said some school districts have restricted much on what teachers can do for discipline. Well, if they're not federally run or governed and you getting rid of the Department of Public Education and all of that, then your executive order means nothing, does it? What does it mean? If you've gotten rid of, you want to sever everything that's federal monetarily, but you want to control everything. How does that work? So it's just more hot air. It's more useless waste of time, in my opinion. He says some school. Oh no, this is Orlando. He's saying some schools have district. He said I did just try to call. I know I seen the missed call now when I looked down at the phone. I didn't see you when you was calling. He said it's strange. So how many black people did she open the back door for? Probably none. You don't hear. See, listen. Here we go, because you don't hear me over here crying about it. I didn't go down there and protest. You just heard me say, if she let the Mexican out the back hallway, she did obstruct justice.
Lock her ass up.
Come on, it's like if you call me and say, Kev, I say, what you in jail for? A stolen car. Well, how would they? Well, the car I was in when they pulled me over, it was stolen. So you were in a stolen car. That's why you're arrested. This ain't no big deal.
She made an emotional decision.
She's crying on the.
In her mind, she was morally right. You know what I mean? But according to the law,
right,
you're wrong.
Which, as a judge, you would think she was aware of.
Exactly. She was definitely aware.
What you thought? Mighty Whitey. Mighty Whitey. He said she knew he had a nice warrant. That's, once again, like I said.
That's what he said.
This is open and shut.
Yeah.
Now, look, some people say that the policies on immigration are unfair and unjust. Maybe they are. But as we stand, that is the law. See, that's what we as black people have had to deal with forever. Well, that ain't fair, but that's the law. I didn't grow no coca plant in my backyard, and but the law says, since I caught you with this shit in your hand, right, you got to go to jail. Right. And you need to say, damn.
Even if you don't know what it is, it's in your yard, nigga. This is yours.
Shout out to Bear Meat. Shout out to my brother Bear Meat, because he put it to me one time on some very cold and cruel, in some cold and cruel circumstances. And I said, man, you know, these Arabs in the store, man, they shot this kid, man, because he was stealing a bag of chips. And my brother said, did he steal the chips? I said, that don't matter. That don't matter, because his life ain't worth no chips. That's unjust. And my brother said, did he steal the chips? I said, yes, he stole the chips. He said, okay, well, when you steal somebody's shit, what you say, Kamar? Occupational hazard, right? Not justified, but hey, he did steal the chips.
The Bible says you could cut their hand off.
Well, Old Testament, correct, says cut the hand off. I know, a lot of people say that.
Old Testament, this is the Bible, right?
Well, yeah, it is. I'm just saying, for clarity purposes, a lot of people.
I ain't knocking you or nothing. But how come whenever something about the Bible and it's in the Old Testament, somebody always be like, "Hey, that's the Old Testament. That's the like that one don't count. Like that ain't the Bible no more."
Well, no, it's still the Bible, but I guess what you have to understand is that there's the Old Testament and the New Testament, and supposedly we were forgiven and we got a reset. So the laws is different. So I get what you're saying. I ain't saying it ain't in the Bible. I'm just saying, like, we ain't rocking Old Testament law right now. Because if we was, all us would be dead. You know what I mean? So I mean, read the whole book. See, it be people who don't know that there is a New Testament that'll quote the Old Testament, right? And think they know something. Even in the Bible, they cut the hand off. And you be like, well, that's Old Testament. What do you mean? It's a newer Bible? Mine new too. I just got it. See, you don't know what you're talking about. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. She said, Orlando said, okay, he said she knew he had an ice warrant. Shabaka said the damn teacher has no right to put his hands on a child. That would be child abuse in some states. Okay, so just historically, there was a point in time
if it's child abuse for me, it's child abuse for the teacher.
Right. You can't tell me as a parent I can't whoop ass at home, but you can whoop ass at school.
Right.
No. And once again, that's not what the specific wordage of this executive order is. My question was, why do we need to even revisit that? Because if you are in a classroom, you do have a right to discipline a child, but you can't do it physically. See, people think discipline only means physical. Only way you teach a nigga something, hit him upside his head. Discipline is a whole bunch of different stuff in terms of managing children and, and making sure the rules of the classroom are set and boundaries and, all this kind of stuff, man. So, yeah, I didn't say that that's what this said, but there's going to be somebody somewhere who goes above and above and really smack the mess out of a kid and be like, but they said we can discipline them now. And it's going to be somebody who parents that do it, and somebody parents going to come there and whoop their ass. And then the parents going to be in trouble. They technically have the right. We'll see how it plays, man. A lot of the executive orders Trump signs, I'm convinced to myself now, a lot of it he knows in his mind is bullshit. He's just doing it.
Yeah.
Whatever he can think of.
He's doing it for the gram.
Right. He's doing it for the gram. There you go, Kumar. Just because he can, right? Why are you doing that, Mr. President?
Give us something to talk about.
Because I can. You think you hate me? You have no idea.
He's doing shit to give us something to talk about. He learned that from Kanye.
Orlando, he said, bear meat, he's shouting out my brother. Ruben Anderson, how you doing, my brother? Welcome to Outlaw Radio Live. He said, good evening, Kings. My brother Ruben out here putting it down for the community. But yeah, so this all stems from me saying that his approval or introducing this conversation by saying his approval rating is down. And like I said, I don't know how much merit or validity these polls actually have, because once again, nobody's ever called me and said, "Kay, what you think?" I ain't never got no envelope, nothing.
And we don't know nobody who they asked.
Right. I don't know anyone. So, and I think that they have a selected, they try and make it so it's people who are aware of whatever, what have you, registered voters, and maybe they just ain't got to me. Ruben Anderson, he said for the gram. He said for the gram. That's a good one, Kumar. I'm doing it for the gram, right?
He's doing it for the gram.
Because I can. That's why I'm doing it. Look
at me.
Right.
Look at me.
Right. Look at me, little puppy. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people right now who, and I have to get used to this, especially in my community, who are just politics is just not on their radar right now. Like, and I think certain people are allowed to get away with certain things because a lot of people are just exhausted, man. And so, and when you start talking about politics to someone who's supposedly politically aware, the one thing they want to do is confuse you right away. They will spit a lot of false information, fake narratives, fake numbers, skewed statistics. And if you don't know no better, you'll be twisted up. Yeah. You'll be twisted up. That's why you got to know how to counter back. Like, nah, bah. Usually they'll leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll just try to, think if I'm louder than him, I win the argument. Which on Outlaw Radio gets you hung up on. I don't know about nowhere else. It ain't about the fact that you're a Republican. It's about you don't know how to shut the fuck up. Excuse my French. But yeah, so Hey, man, I wanted, once again, my whole point was my trust that the people are going to hold this regime accountable. I mean, it has to happen at a certain point, you know, and there's, like I said, there's little darts. You know, when you go after, okay, the Smithsonian History of African American History, I mean, the Smithsonian Museum of African American History, excuse me. I think that's a major indicator of how you feel, but it's nothing that I don't expect from a white nationalist who's in power. It's to be expected. So for me to just start going crazy and doing backflips and rolling over on the ground, it's not gonna happen.
And then, you know, Kev, we got to remember this too, right? Like whenever any regime come, they change a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? They do a bunch of different executive orders, and they do this shit so their name could be left in history and shit, right?
I'm the president.
So it's gonna be another president to come along, and they gonna redo a whole bunch of that shit that he did, I feel like.
And it's gonna be a whole bunch of people that disagree with it too, Kamar.
Yeah, again, yeah.
This shit is a circle. It's not a straight line. It's not. And I think the goal a lot of times is just to have us as the people on the ground confused and against each other and divided. So when it comes time to really make a decision or vote for someone, we don't know who to vote for. It's like you further lost. Like, okay, what's the issue now? Because I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us go into those booths and they don't know everybody on the ticket. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And you be like, who? What? Shit, you basically voting with your eyes closed on that one. But I think once again, our vote has value. I think the people. Now we get down to what we talking about the people, and not just black people. The Latinos who voted against their own interests. Hopefully, they learned from their mistakes.
We're gonna listen to them niggas next time.
Well, you know, he just said Trump 2028. I don't know what that looks like. But I'm saying even the black people who have just been so mesmerized by Trump and totally ignore all of the whack shit he does, but they're very good at, you know, telling me what he did that was nice, or you know, what was favorable. They can quote that, man, he did this, and I say, but look what else he did. They will either dance around it or they'll just outright deny it, which ultimately is an insult to my intelligence. So I just pay them no mind. I don't feel like wasting my time, right? I don't feel like wasting my time. But yeah, man, shout out to you. If you got a voice, my first thing is to tell you to vote, to be accountable. Don't give away your power because it don't look like it's in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think a lot of people give that away and say, "Nah, it don't matter anyways." So I'm not gonna even participate.
Which you swing on a nigga down.
Well, yeah, and that's a waste of a vote as well. I mean, I know you.
That's what I'm saying. At least swing in the fight, nigga.
Right? Did you at least
or something, nigga? Right. Your vote make your vote do something, nigga.
Yeah. Hit us up, man. Let us know how y'all feel. Jump in the chat room. You can always call 262-202-5131. Shabaka says, keep in mind, no president has ever been convicted in an impeachment. Right. Tricky Dick, he stepped down. He's like, fuck this, I'm out. Shabaka said, check my wall. Kevin Kamara posted the maps of the route to the slave ships. Okay. Might be interesting. But you know, this we get to Shador. We can talk about the NFL, man. This now, Kamara, this is bigger than people probably think, and then there's people who don't care. So I get that. Because people say, well, I'm not a football fan. I don't like football. Or I don't watch football. Which is cool. But I think that we're going to talk about what's racist and what's not. Who should be accountable for what? We'll get to that. And I got a caller. Call in from where?
What? This Dion.
Okay, you got a different number. It didn't pop up in my thing. I don't know.
Man, I called you from this line before. This is my other phone. What's going on with you, man? How y'all doing?
What's happening, man? What's going on?
I ain't know if I had to muster the energy to call, man. For real, motherfucker been fucked up. I had to go to work today. I had came to the assumption in my life, man. Well, let me tell you what happened to me. I'm gonna give y'all a little brief thing. So, you know, I thought I was gonna do a little clean green this weekend. So I was trying to pull my snake cage about the basement and shit. And that's a 200-pound cage. I'm 47 years old, you know. Now I was out of breath, you know. So I'm like, man, goddamn, you know, like, okay, fuck it. You know, let me just hold on a minute. I want to took my dog to the groomer, my other dog, and I was like, I'm hungry, you know, like, you know, Dunkin' Donuts got this, you know, it's a big billboard that said it got the $6 deal. Croissant. I don't drink coffee. I just wanted the croissant and the hash brown. So I go get the croissant and the hash brown and shit, and they come back home, you know, I haven't dropped the dog off. So I went and finally mustered enough energy to pull the cage outside. So later on, I'm thinking, like, I'm over-exerting myself. I'm like, damn, man, you 47 years old, dude, you shouldn't be doing that shit like that no more. And the next thing you know, my stomach was like, and then from there, it just been downhill. And so today I came to the conclusion, I said, you know, when I get a little bit, you know, a little bit more seniority, if I decide to stay there, I'm not going to work sick no more. Nope, I can't do it. I just have to miss out on I'm going to have to sacrifice buying some clothes or a trip or whatever. So when I ain't feeling good, I can't go to work, man.
Ain't that why they have PTO? So if you're not feeling good, you can...
You know, I just started there, though. I ain't been there. I just made a month. You know what I'm saying? Now, for my old job, I could have, I had plenty time built up. Okay. But yeah, though, so that's what happened to me this weekend. So I just been laying. I went to work today, but I just ain't feeling myself, though. You know, not 100%. I ain't even ate nothing. I had to go eat me some soup and just drink the broth and shit. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully in the morning I feel a little bit better. But yeah, though, man, it been a lot going on, man. You know, as soon as that judge shit had my text your line, like, yeah, you like, man, fuck it. I was like, yeah, me too, fuck it. But you know, man, I don't, you know, that gentleman, I really don't even want to, like, say nothing about his comment, but it's people out here. I just can't wait till people start getting laid off, shit start hitting the fan, and I just want to really see how many, because some people really think this man is doing a good job. Like no bullshit, you know, because you know, we live in the Webverse, and I be seeing people going around interviewing people, they like, well, just give him time, you know, and like you said, his first 100 days, I think that's 41%, Kim, not 31%, because he scored like 3 points lower, I think, than his first term was 44%, because they went all the way back to George Bush, and like George Bush and Barack Obama was in the 60s, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
but yeah,
that's cool. If
like,
it's 41, that's cool.
Like the guy is just, you know, that's just puzzling, man. But you know what? It's not for me to try to gravitate or get my mind around it, because that's another person's life that they got to live. But it just show you, and see, that's what I be saying to you. And I hope one day, you know, you be like, man, my nigga Dion was right. When a person, and that this political shit is really deeper than that, to me. If a person has, now ain't no, like you said, we not Republicans or Democrats, that's cool. But when you affiliate with him, you're dangerous to me. You're dangerous. You're dangerous. Just plain and simple. Any black man, woman, child, goddamn dog, parakeet, whatever, that voted for Donald Trump and feel like he's doing a good job and he should be the president, and the nerve to say, because he ain't had his 2 terms, so that means if he do 2028, that he's going against the rule of the Constitution. To say something like that is very, very dangerous. And I don't care. Y'all can sit up and laugh and take it as a joke, but that man is dangerous. He's a danger to himself or others around him. And I mean, I just feel like that. I don't care how nobody feels. It's not only him. Anybody that's black. We're not talking about whites, because whites voted for their interests. Blacks, we had no interest in it. We talk about the immigrants, and we was mad because the sanctuary cities got the money, and this, that. We was so fucking blinded, you know what I'm saying? And now look at us. You know, and then, you know, like I was listening to something about DEI today, and you know, regardless of,
Dion,
I don't care.
You talking to the wrong people, though. Overall, black people did not vote for Donald Trump. 85%.
Yeah, I know.
Still, 85% of black people who did voted for Kamala. So I don't,
Kamala,
whatever you want to call her, So I feel like you wasting energy by you giving us that speech. Like I don't.
No, I know. I'm just talking. No, I'm just saying though. We can't forget. We gotta disassociate ourselves from these people, man. For real.
I'm not sure I need to disassociate myself from someone.
Okay.
That
All
just because they voted for somebody different from me. But we have to ask ourselves this, Dion, what association is there in the first place?
Yeah, you right about
So
that. But it could have been a
it's not
family
like
member.
we having right. It's not like we having dinner and going to lunch and.
But you remember what I said? Who did I say if they voted for Donald Trump, I probably won't fuck with him no more.
Did you say that? Who did you say in regards to?
Yeah, yes, I said my own mama.
Oh yeah, well see, it's not that serious to me.
Yeah. Well,
not that serious to me. I once again, I mean, you have the right to your opinion.
But I know people just don't believe in everything though. But I swear, dude,
that's a matter of opinion though. That's not, you can't. Like,
yeah, you're right. That's and I have a strong opinion about it. But when I just sit back and just see how many of us, like even to this day, you know what I'm saying? No matter how strong we try to be, like sometimes I have to stop and think and like try to refocus because I've been indoctrinated with that bullshit with these white people for so long, and it's like it's so many of us that have, and it's hard to break that psychological mind bondage. You know what I'm saying? But I'm about to listen to y'all though, man, because I ain't really take over and monopolize the conversation. I can barely breathe on it.
It's all good, man. Get better, man. Because I don't need you.
I'm gonna listen. I ain't about to hang up.
But I don't need you coughing up loogies. There you go with that bullshit. I feel like I'm catching something through the headphones. Good Lord. I had all kinds of phlegm in his throat. Ugh. Okay. Who we got in the chat room? Shabaka says also I'm trying to get access to the ship's logs. Shabaka, I don't know what would be the purpose of all this research. What are you trying to establish or prove? You know what I'm saying? He said we'll accept your friend request. I don't know who he's talking to. Barack Obama was more concerned about alternative agendas, if you know what I mean. We give Barack that, but Barack operated with integrity. There, I said it. I'm not the biggest Barack Obama fan. I did vote for him twice. With Barack Obama, I just felt like there was a failure to take advantage of an opportunity. Like there could have been so much traction gained, but it never happened. And we were kind of voting emotionally as opposed to, and then the Republican candidate was trash too. I still got Orlando on the line. I think this is Orlando. Orlando, is this you?
What's going on, brother?
Man, what's going on? Orlando, why are you in the back of the room hollering out, protect the border? What's going on, man?
I guess we were talking about how things are and where we are, the approval ratings. We were talking about
it, right? We just start specifically. We won't just say we're talking about this and that. We're talking about his approval rating being low, the lowest in 7 decades. Once again, I'm not giving these polls total 100% validity, but I think there's a statement made here. So you were going to say what?
Well, again, I look at what's going on with the economy, trying to get our trade deals back on par. But America and American jobs are number one. Dion has whatever his issue is, but we're trying to keep American workers working here in America, and that we don't get juice out of all the deals. It's to be business, and both parties have to, make something of a business deal. And what we currently have is that America is losing. So that's a good thing in my book. Again, with the border situation, catching cats over here just doing their thing at the club, the MS-13 club, like they done got the bowl, they got their own club. Like, hold on, man. This is how the immigration policy is so crazy. I think Tom Holman, the guy who's over the border situation, he's like, it was some crazy number, like 14,000 this time last year. Like today, 110. So that to me, again, is progress again. I want to see that. Trump signed again, the whole historical black college, legislation, signed it in effect the other day.
Well, he cut their funding. He's cut all kinds of funding.
I don't think he cut the funding. He moved the department of what his schools will be funded.
Orlando, please don't start dancing. You know where it's going to lead. He cut funding. He cut all student funding. It wasn't just HBCUs. He cut scholarships, all this kind of thing that funded a lot of children's education, which included HBCUs. So don't come on here and mislead the people that he's trying to say.
We may not agree.
No, it's the fact. It's fact. It's not about agreeing. It's fact. Listen, let me get my chat room. Let me get to my chat room. Shabak is saying, how do you all feel about Ibrahim Traore? I don't know him. Kop Mala is the appropriate term, he said. Ruben said, who is this guy? Which guy we talking about, Ruben? You talking about Dion or you talking about Orlando? Who is this? Roosevelt Black Candidate. How you doing, my brother? Negro Land Map. Look it up. What's that? Negro Land Map. What is that? I don't know. Mikey Davis was popping, man. How you doing, homie? He said, Kev, I agree with you. Man, shout out to you, Mikey. Hope you feeling better, brother. He said Obama did nothing but the murders of unarmed black people by the police. He did that, or did the police do it? Was that already happening when he got elected, or did it start when he got there? It continued under him. He wasn't able to stop it, obviously. But should we blame him for it? He couldn't have totally eradicated it. And even if he did, this is 8 years later. I'm pretty sure it's more important to pay attention to what's going on now. But I get it about the argument about people say all the stuff about Obama. I'm over that too. Dion said that goofy ass nigga is speaking talking points, talking about MS-13. He said, should black Americans be concerned about white Americans? If so, why? Okay, so let me go back to what Orlando said about he wants to make sure American people are working again. Well, Orlando, our economy is horrible. Yep. Places are closing down as we speak. And I'm gonna be honest, without tap dancing, I know that you can't really do that because you got to toe your party's line. But you got to toe your party's line. I give you all the opportunities in the world a lot of times to address things, and you dance around them because you're towing a party line. That's just the reality of it. You're partisan. Totally partisan. So hold on. When it comes to the tariffs, the price of doing business is going to make it hard on business owners. It's going to make it hard. Inflation is going to make it hard to afford things. That's not productive. And even your hero, Ronald Reagan, spoke out against tariffs because all they do is just destroy the marketplace. So that's a bad economic plan. Now, when you talk about immigrants, what I hear from you and a lot of Republicans is xenophobia. Because you want to talk about, whoa, these Mexican criminals in our country. What about the white criminals? What about the Asian criminals? What about the black criminals? Like, it's a lot of criminals, but you're signifying, you just kind of pointing them out. I get the whole idea. Hold on, Orlando. Let me finish. I get the idea we want to make the country safer, right? And there is a problem with illegal immigration. But I think when you take a white nationalist and you put him in charge, that injects a lot of vitriol in it and a lot of xenophobia. So when you got 2-year-olds being deported, people being sent to the wrong places, you can't justify that in no language, Orlando. You can't justify it.
So again, about the other criminals, we know what you niggas are. We don't care about you niggas. We know what you is, so we can get you niggas. No problem.
It's entertaining for me to hear you talk like that. Like when you say,
funny.
Funny in a sad way. Funny in a sad way because you hang around a lot of white people, and I'm wondering if that's something you tell them.
I'm just saying, let's be clear here.
Is that how you talk when you're around your Republican friends?
Black folk ain't on the radar of where we can't find people at. So let's be clear. We got Social Security cards.
What about white criminals? What about white criminals?
So we know what the white boy is too, the white trash. We know what he is too.
Okay.
So we can get down, we get down.
But you don't.
So let's be clear.
You don't know where the white. So what's your point? You know where they at.
My point is this: when you said, "Well, they cracking down on the Hispanics." Well, yeah,
no, I said you're generalizing. That's being utilized to justify whatever process and procedure that they use, whether it's illegal or not, to detain them, no matter if they're sending the wrong people or they're sending little kids and mothers and these streets. Okay, listen, he's going after. Hold on, he's also going after their basic rights of citizenship.
They're not citizens, though, bro. They're not citizens.
The ones that are. He's going after birthright. Orlando, your president went after birthright citizenship. That's one of the first things he did.
Well, birthright citizenship wasn't made for illegals. It was made for who?
But it applies to them. It applies to them.
No.
What do you mean?
You don't get to apply.
You know what I hate? What when you say it's made for niggas? What kind of black man are you? It's made for niggas. What are you talking about?
So let's be clear. Let's be clear.
No. Let's straighten that up. Because them wasn't niggas that they allegedly made it up for. They were the children of slaves. People who were slaves. I'm familiar with it. It wasn't niggas. We didn't make it up for niggas. It wasn't made up for niggas.
Birthright citizenship was for blacks who was formerly
the children
enslaved,
of their slaves. The children of the slaves. I just said that.
Okay, so it wasn't for immigrants who came here illegally. So
you said it was for niggas. It ain't for niggas either.
Oh, okay. I guess you could.
No, I absolutely
scold me on my language.
I mean, well, hold on. Because the thing about it is, if you're a black man and you talk like that around your white friends, and that makes you a buck dancer. Well, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. That's what you do.
Well, again, let's be clear here. We talking right now.
But
we talk.
Your friends ain't listening. So you talk a certain way around us, and then when you go around them, you talk. Proper. It's a
certain way I talk around my kids, and I don't talk around you.
Okay. So that's what you're doing.
We talk. Well, we talking right now. So let's talk.
Well, I ain't never heard Orlando talk like this.
Right. Well, Trump is in power now. He feels vindicated.
Okay. I mean, again, if my language, if my language offends you, okay, I'll take that.
Offend me. I'm just letting you
know. No, it ain't offended. We just telling you it's different.
Right. We pointing it out.
I'm getting. So I don't. If it offends you, okay. I mean, it is what it is.
We just said it don't offend us. We just pointing it out that it's different. We ain't used to this Orlando. We ain't used to the Orlando or the niggas flying everywhere.
Hey, Orlando, be honest though. Yeah, be honest though.
We still from the same part.
But even though this is Outlaw Radio, we don't even throw that word around on here like that. It's you sometimes, but that's not something we do on here. So don't make it seem like because I'm on Outlaw Radio, I can.
I'll give you that, Kev. Okay, let's be clear. We all from the same block. Same block. So let's keep that 100 between. Ain't no like Orlando's like never grew up. Let's be clear. I wasn't raised in no white community. I grew up right here in the city. So let's be transparent. We all talking as black men here about what's cracking. So let's take off the mittens and say, okay, Orlando, you never said that before.
Well, hold on, Orlando. But listen at what you said. Listen at what you said. You said, "Oh, birthright citizenship was made for niggas."
You know what I meant.
I know what you meant, but I thought you was more intelligent than that.
What I meant.
Words mean something. Words mean something, Orlando, and I'm very careful. I'm very careful on here how I use words. And so, once again, we just called it out.
If that was too harsh, I will retract the statement. If it's too harsh,
well, it was just buck dancerish coming from you because we know you line up with the other side.
That's the side between us as we talk. That's sometimes the problem, Kev. If we disagree, don't make me no butt dancer, my friend.
No. I didn't say you were buck dancer. I didn't say you were. I said what you said. I said what you said was buck dancer. That was like a buck dancer who would say that. Like,
So clearly, I guess you just we're questioning our bona fides, our credentials, but let's get past that because clearly that's not going to be solved tonight.
Okay.
So let's go back to the topic, if you don't mind.
Let's go back to it.
Okay. So controlling the border is a good thing.
Okay.
Having tariff discussion about how we need to have better trade for America first, is a good thing. It's not saying that it's not going to have some pain initially, right? But ultimately, these trade deals need to favor America, or we need to break even. Ain't nobody gonna do better than America in a trade deal.
Nobody's doing better than us right now. No other country has more millionaires.
America ain't gonna be doing no trade deals in a minute.
Right, because ain't nobody gonna fuck with us.
I'll say this: there are trade deals who are doing better in America on the deal itself. So let's just look at the deals we have on the table with all these countries. Those countries are doing better in the deal, not necessarily how they live, but in the deal, they came out with more than what we got in this deal.
What country?
So we should want to renegotiate. We're talking about the NFL draft.
What country?
With, occur.
Which country?
So let's like at least 30 of them that was doing a little bit better.
Then you should be able to name one. If you know it's 30, name one.
China. We have Honduras.
China.
We have, the list
Honduras.
China,
okay.
Honduras. We also have, Taiwan. So I mean, the litany goes down and down as far as at least 30 countries that we need to be having conversations about.
Wait, hold on. Let me get clarity. So China, you said Thailand,
Honduras,
and
Thailand.
So they're doing. You said
Singapore.
they're doing better under the tariff system. That's what you're saying?
What I'm saying to you is that their country as a whole may not, and they definitely are not doing as good as Americans. But the deal we have with those countries,
benefits,
they are doing better on that particular deal. That America is getting the lesser of the deal, while they're getting the greater of the deal.
Okay, I'm listening.
And for where I stand, America should always get the better of the deal, or at least break even, So that's all I'm saying.
She said, Shabaka said, man, fuck Ronald Reagan. He really fucked up California. He walks in the chat room. He said, Orlando is a fake ass Byron Donaldson. The only difference is Byron sellout ass got elected. Go ahead. I cut you off, Orlando. Go ahead.
So I'm chastised on my land. Okay.
I agree with Shabaka. I 100% agree with it.
Well, I know you would. That's why your bubble guts over there. Fat dude. That's why you're bubbling over there, because your mouth go on too much. But anyway.
Orlando. I keep...
Go ahead, Kamar.
I said you keep saying we messed up about your language. It ain't the language, Orlando. We just saying you talking different than you normally talk when you come call in
regards to us, because I never heard you throw the nigga word around like that before.
So we never heard you say that. That's all we're saying, man. Ain't nobody
like that, Orlando. Like, come on now.
We've had conversations. I've been to the garage, so
now we don't bug dance in the garage. Listen.
But I don't
hold on. So if you're talking about private conversations that we have, certain things, if you pay attention, I'm still not like, I ain't gonna say, yeah, all them old bitches that was in my family, they died for us. Like I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say all them dead ass niggas, my granddaddy and them. I don't disrespect the dead. Okay. And so when you say,
so are we going to get back to the stuff?
Well, you the one who you rehashed it because he said fake ass Byron Donaldson, right?
No, that's again, and he's talking, whatever that means. He's another, a lefty do nothing. But anyway, okay, I'll let him continue to try to, denigrate. I can call him
a lefty do nothing.
So I let them continue with the rhetoric that they like to spew out. You got Dion with bubble guts, so you get what you get, But he wants to leave some, but he can't wipe his own ass. But anyway, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So let's go.
That sounds kind of gay to me. Worried about the next man wiping his ass. What the hell?
Knock the donuts and don't know. Control your gluttony over there. Let's go back. Let's get back to it. So now we talk about disciplining children in schools, judges giving back doors to illegals, but they ain't backdoor no niggas. Oh, I'm sorry, black men before.
Thank you.
They ain't give nobody, none of us a backdoor nowhere.
Right.
But nobody
I don't want no backdoor.
Well,
Orlando, I don't want no backdoor.
Well, the way out. Let me just say escape route. So we ain't get none of those. But they wanna sit there and complain and hold a protest, and you got what's your man named Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffrey sitting on the steps in D.C. having a kumbaya. This is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. We're actually debating on should sex slave leaders and molesters and rapists be like pictured on the White House lawn.
Trump is a 34-time felon and he sexually assaulted a woman. But he was convicted of. He was convicted. But you know what? Though? I want to ask Orlando. You're so smart.
I'm so smart. Okay.
Since you said they want to bring production back to the United States, how would the United States of America produce flat screen TVs and iPhones?
So
we even got to say iPhones. We can just say Android telephones.
So everything, my juvenile Dion, won't be produced in America.
I'm asking you a question. You don't have to do insults, but answer the question.
You good at insults, but you can't take an insult. But I'll push on. Everything won't be produced in America. Some things will still be produced outside, but at least will be something that we will get the benefit of.
That's that bullshit. That's how they be. So you telling me, you just said you want to bring jobs back to America. And I said, well, how will we produce? Because, you know, Zenith and RCA and Magnavox is no longer here in the United States no more. We got Samsung, Sony, LG, Hisense, stuff like that. So how would we produce flat screen televisions in the United States of America?
So let me help you along, Dion. I'm gonna give you another remedial course again, right?
No, because you just said
some things won't be produced in America, but the deal to get those goods here should be a better deal for America.
Oh yeah, you said we're gonna bring jobs back. So how is it? That's the lie they be saying though.
Jobs will come back. When you look at the cost for a company to do a partnership with a foreign company, he or she may decide that, you know what, for the price they're trying to charge through this tariff, I might as well find me an American manufacturer to do the same thing I was getting overseas.
Okay, so stop right there. Stop right there. Orlando. Stop right there. Hold on, Dion. Hold on. What American company will we, if we say we're not going to do business with them right now, who is an American television manufacturer, American owned?
Well, what I'm saying is that some products we won't be able to make in America.
Okay,
so we gotta find
so then that means, what by your logic and Trump's logic is, well, we'll just get our TVs from Taiwan then, or we'll just get them from somewhere else as opposed to Japan.
Could be.
Okay, but in the meantime and in between time, this causes upheaval in our economy. The market has crashed how many times? And it's just what, April? It's already crashed several times. Now, look, I don't even want to stay on this all night because I got some other stuff to talk about. So let me go to my chat room. Shabaka said, why is this fool Orlando mentioning my name? Ewok said, Orlando acts like his tap dancing made something happen. What the fuck has tap dancing accomplished? Curse words. I just used them. Rock, what it do, man? JC Terry said, top of it. How you doing this evening, Rock? Man, welcome to Outlaw Radio Live on Monday evening. Said, why is Orlando disrespectful towards me? This is Shabaka Singh Corey in the chat room. I don't know. I don't know.
So I would say this, Kev. I know you got to push on the next topic to Shakur or the quarterback kid from Colorado.
Right, Shakur. You call him Shakur.
What is it? I don't follow like that. So
right. I got you.
So I'll just quickly chat. If you're gonna come to Outlaw Radio, you're gonna have to be able to take it and get it to give it. That's all I can say.
No doubt.
That's the problem. I'm just saying.
No doubt.
You know?
And Orlando, I don't stop when it's you and anybody going. I don't referee that. What I referenced was you kind of, a historical reference in which it kind of created a certain kind of picture. And I guess I need to come back to the garage then so we can have. Well, if you said that in the garage, I would say something then. Like, hold on, why would you say that? Like, well, nah, man, it ain't. I would correct anybody if they said that was made for niggas. I'd be like, wait a minute.
My language is expansive as well too.
Like, it's expansive.
I can translate as well too.
There we go.
So
multi-talented.
I do that. So
right.
You're but I would say this again. I wouldn't say I'm proud of you, but I am fluid. And I don't like a lack of confidence. So I don't have, so yeah. But anyway, let's get back to it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good things that's going to happen. Okay. Yes, there's some pain initially.
Okay.
Trade deals. I get some of the concern. I can even feel, I get upset. Like,
so you have no problem with him saying having a museum of African American history is counter-American, anti-American. So let's get rid of that. Taking down pictures of Tuskegee Airmen who fought and died for this country, and really going after the truth and saying to people that you can't celebrate your heritage because it's anti-American. You don't got a problem with none of that, because as long as he got tariffs, you cool with it. And as long as he's protecting the border, none of that matters. Is that where we at?
So let me be transparent, Kev. I don't know anything about that, but if I follow your logic, if you saying you're reporting on this, then that was something that I would have to disagree on.
Oh, wait. You're not aware of him stripping the Smithsonian Museum of the African American history? You're not aware of that?
Well,
you haven't paid attention to him going after equality and to the point where he's going back, reversing laws that make it illegal to discriminate So possibly there could be signage in windows, and from my understanding, there already is to say whites only. And him doing any of
So
that,
what I do know is this, Kev.
and that's all true though. But you don't have a problem with any of that.
What I do know is this, Kev. When you go to DC and you go down the museum row, everybody has a museum, from the blacks to the Jews to the whatever. Everybody got a museum. His idea is to say, you know what, we're going to stop these, individual museums and make one American museum and bring in all of the artifacts. All of it.
Well, has he done this? Has he done this to Jewish museums? Has he done this to Native American museums? I haven't seen him do that to these places. I've seen him do it to specifically, and I can't really speak for everybody else. I'm talking about us. It's very important that our history be told separately, because we noticed that when they say history is usually told by the victors, well, we found out that they lied about most of it, and so our history has to be told almost alternatively to really tell you the facts. Like they don't even want to admit that there was even ever a slave trade or slaves in America. Like they want it illegal. They want them to make it illegal to teach in schools because they said they don't want white kids to feel guilty. That's been a Republican ideology for 4-5 years before Trump even came.
Orlando don't believe in slavery. We want slaves, wasn't Orlando? We want slaves.
I believe this. I think
American
history, Black history, Jewish history, American history, whatever the case you want to give it, Hispanic American history, Jamaican American history, it's all American history, or it's all world history, right? So if you want to say you want to pull out the individuals and put it all together, that makes the ugly, bad, and the indifferent, meaning slavery for a lot of white Democrats who push slavery. Let's be clear, in this state, in this country, I'm sorry.
Man, please don't go back to 1845 Democrats and say, okay, we know. Yeah, Republicans are our friends, right? Orlando, I'm about to be done with this because it's starting to make my stomach hurt. I don't even want to go here with you. I want to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about some other stuff. I just don't, because it's just overwhelming. When you say you're not even aware of, so you don't pay attention to nothing he's doing bad. You tariffs in the border, tariffs in the border, tariffs in the border. You don't see nothing else. Look, I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Because I want to talk about the NFL, and I want to talk about Shador's. Orlando, don't make me hang up on you. Don't make me hang up on you, Orlando. Don't make me hang up on you. Don't make me hang up on you. Don't talk over me.
What'd you say, bro?
Don't make me hang up on you. I'm trying to talk about something else. If you don't want to contribute to the conversation, you can bounce.
We go. What the next topic is it the draft?
It's about Shakur Sanders, as you said. But before I even get to that,
I don't know.
Before I get to that,
I don't know.
I'm going to say the NFL, which is at this point a multi-billion-dollar organization, which is basically governed by a body of conservative old white rich men, and then some foreign investors like Shad Khan in Jacksonville, and I believe there's some other foreign-based billionaire boys club owners. But we look at what happened with Colin Kaepernick. We look at the fact that historically the NFL has had very racist practices. There was a ban, what they call an unspoken ban on black players for some 30, 40 years. The position of quarterback, the position of middle linebacker. There's always been racist kind of fundamentals that the NFL has embraced, and it's really just a reflection of their owners, because this is who owns the team. It is the racist, white, conservative billionaire boys club, oil barons, these dudes who still refer to us as colored, right? Like, and we know this. Don't cut me off, Orlando. Do not cut me off, please. So when we look at the latest and greatest example of this, it is about teaching a lesson. Now, first of all, I need America to make up their minds. Because on one hand, I hear black men don't raise their kids. Black men don't teach their sons. Black men are not around. They're not in the community. But then when you see an example of a black father who has his children, who's made whatever sacrifices is needed to raise them and put them in a position to rise above and beyond, he's criticized, he's ostracized. Look at Venus and Serena's dad. Look at LeVar Ball. Now look at Deion Sanders. So we go to the draft with Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders is his name, who's Deion's son at the University of Colorado, who over the last 2 years, Deion Sanders has taken Colorado from a garbage toilet bowl of a school in terms of football to the top. Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars generated for that university. Let's say that at first. But then, so Deion is very vocal. Deion represents supreme confidence. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of the circumstances Deion Sanders was raised in. He comes from very humble beginnings. He worked his way to where he is now. He created generational wealth for his family. He's always been a part of his sons' lives. And he has sons that don't play football as well. So let's get that too. But these two happen to play for him. Shedeur, who is a projected first-round draft pick, who has all the skills and the performance and the video to back it up, drops to the 5th round. What's the big deal, Kev? He still got to the league. Well, the difference is probably about a $35 million payday if you are a first-round draft pick versus a 5th-round draft pick. You're probably about a 3. Now, don't get me wrong, $3 million is still good, but you just cost me $25 million. And for what? Because you said I'm cocky. Or I'm arrogant. Now, let's reference one Archie Manning, who is in the South revered as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game because he went to Ole Miss. And if you want to research racism and prejudice, go back and look at Ole Miss, Alabama, University of Mississippi, Texas, basically the SEC in the 60s and the 70s. They held out to get a black man playing for them forever. Them was good old white boys. And Archie Manning came in the league. He was talented, but he never won a damn thing. Never won anything, no matter where he was, no matter where he went. Made a lot of plays. Obviously a good quarterback. He never won anything. His sons, when they got ready to get drafted, were not playing here. Matter of fact, Eli got drafted by the Chargers and said, I ain't playing for them. I told y'all. Y'all thought I was bullshitting? I ain't playing for y'all. They had to trade him. You muted.
John Elway got away with that shit too.
John Elway, yes, he did. And guess what? His dad was a well-known coach. Okay? So over the years, we've seen this happen many different times. But with Deion and with Shedeur, it's an issue. Once again, you say we're not raising our sons. You say we're not in the home. We're not in the community. But when we speak out and say, no, we're not going to play by those rules. We're going to do this how it should be done. Shame on you. So which one do you want? Shut up and dribble, right? So now there's some football people, and I'm a football guy. So when it comes to breaking down, I understand the draft is a process of really looking at every and any aspect of a player that could either be beneficial or could have a negative impact on his performance. There's some criticisms of him. He holds the ball too long, whatever. They say he doesn't have a big arm. Well, somebody who can throw a football 60, 70 yards, to me, has a big arm. You've seen him throw deep balls. I don't know what. It's just like I heard Deion Sanders say, when did his arm get weak? When did his arm get weak? Like that. So I hear it, but there's criticism of all players. Listen, I don't know if you all know who Johnny Manziel is. He's the cockiest white boy ever. He's even come out now and said, shit, I invented NIL when it was illegal. He still got drafted high. He still won the Heisman Trophy. He still was high. He was Johnny Football. So the double standard is there. We understand that. Now, we do have a school of people who say, hey, like you said, Kev, the NFL is $1 billion organization. If you want to get in there and make that money, you got to get in there and sit your ass down and play by their rules. But they have some of the most draconian rules of all sports leagues. Ain't it crazy that the most damaging sport physically doesn't even have guaranteed money? They can make billions of dollars off of you, and you get your signing bonus up front. And they say, well, the contract is worth $200 million, but you won't be there until the end of that contract. Because as soon as he was owed $10 million in the spring, they cut your ass. The NBA has guaranteed money. Major League Baseball, hockey, they have guaranteed money. NFL does not. The NFL fines people $70,000 sometimes for having the wrong socks or shoes on. They get $15,000 fines for having their shirt hanging out their jersey hanging out their pants. So this is a good old boy network that's it generates so much money. And I can't argue with the young brothers who play it because they're taking advantage of their talents to change the trajectory of their family financially. And some of these brothers come from nothing, right? And it's a chance for them to say, hold on, let me change the game. And most of the time it doesn't work like that because pro athletes more often than not are broke by the time they retire. That tells you that something's wrong with the system. So, did I think Shedeur not getting drafted to the 5th round was racist? Absolutely. Do I think he did some of the damage? Absolutely. Because he said, you know what? I know what it is. My dad knows what it is. We understand who we up against, but we're going to tell them to kiss our ass anyways. Well, when you do that, you end up getting drafted in the 5th round and losing $25 million. That's the system.
Kev, who was the number 1 pick, Kev?
Say that again.
Who was the number 1 pick?
Cam Ward, black quarterback from the University of Miami, who is not a humble guy. Now, they tried to see, and this is what they do to us. They try to make it seem like Cam Ward is this humble, quiet. Cam Ward is a diva as well. There's questions about his game as well. Him and Shedeur are about what and what. Maybe he has a little bit more arm strength in terms of the velocity of the football. Maybe he can run a little bit faster. I don't know, but it's so minute that it's almost you can't even tell.
I looked at a much bigger picture, right?
Okay.
You know, through history, this country never liked free niggas. Shedeur Sanders represent a free nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he really don't need the money. He don't have to act the way you want him to act. He don't have to talk the way you want him to talk. You know what I'm saying? He's a free nigga in the league. And him coming into the league as one of the top picks, they don't want him to be bigger than the league. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a free nigga representing the league like that. So we going to bury him in the draft for a little bit. Embarrass him. Humble him. You know how they like to do niggas?
Yeah. But, okay.
Owners.
Go ahead.
Think, as an owner, I think you should be able to draft the employee or hire the employee you want to bring to the table. If you don't like their attitude, they too whatever, you don't like it. I think as an owner, you say, yeah, he got to pick for me, maybe somebody else.
That's true. But when there's collusion, when there's an obvious, because listen, so Orlando, Orlando, there were teams that don't have a quarterback at all right now. And they either drafted someone far, far less talented than him, or they didn't draft one at all. And so
why can't it just be they don't like him?
It is a situation where they don't like him, but it's why they don't like him. Because listen, I guarantee you, you will never meet a star quarterback who's not confident and arrogant. All of the great ones, and they all come with character issues. And you can run down the line. They all have something coming out of school. There's players who are coming, sexual assaults, rapes, drunk driving, assault and battery, fraud, robbery, and they still get drafted. This brother has never gotten in trouble off the field. For as bad as they say he is, he's an honor roll student, a model citizen, and has never gotten in any trouble off the field. So why you don't like him?
Sounds like he checked the boxes. He didn't do anything that got him in crossed up with the law. But is he a good team guy? Is he a good guy?
He's won games. He's won games everywhere he's gone. He's turned programs around.
You can win games and still be a guy I don't want on my squad.
His teammates love him, Orlando. He hasn't. Okay. There's nobody at no school he's been at that says we didn't like him. They say he's a. Listen, this shows the character of this young man. Even after slipping, and when they called him, he still cried. He still said, "I'm thankful. I just want to go play ball. I just want to be in the building." He didn't come out. Yeah, I told you, motherfuckers, which they wanted him to do. Listen, he was prank called by the son of an NFL defensive coordinator who mysteriously happened up on the number, on his phone number. And they prank called him. And these two white boys called him. And that's funny. That's funny. So there's a racial undertone to this. You cannot deny it. But is it?
How do you get tricked? And when people, the first three
because
picks,
hear me out. It comes more or less from this. Here's a kid, and Kamar just hit on it. Here's a kid that don't, because I said a lot of these brothers come from nothing. So they basically got to accept what you give them. But this kid doesn't come from nothing. This kid does come from money. He is entitled, right? It is nepotism because his dad is the greatest cornerback of all time, who, guess what? Coincidentally, stuck his middle finger up at the system too. But they couldn't do nothing about it.
We're going to see how it play out, because I remember watching Deion Sanders, and he talked about the type of people that he wants to bring to Colorado.
He did.
How he wanted. He looked at certain mentalities, X, Y, and Z. He talked about the NIL deals and how he can do this at Colorado.
Orlando. So first of all, Deion didn't create NILs, but let me say this. Did you not just hear me say some of this is on Deion and Shador? Because they willingly said, fuck the system. We're going to do this our way. I said that.
Hey, yo, I got something else too. How about how this country demonize black men that get their kids to an extraordinary level like that? The Serena Williams and them father, Tiger Woods father, the Ball Boys father, LeBron even. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, this media, it demonizes black men for doing well with their kids.
I started off by referencing LeVar Ball.
Nothing.
You, but I also disagree with you.
Nothing.
In the NFL, what is it? 67% of the athletes there are black.
You said
so
try 85 to 90.
So fathers is again, I don't look at everything as in a racial lens. Sometimes you just a jerk, bro. You just a jerk. And nobody really want to rock with you like that.
Okay, but there's so Orlando, stop right there. Because there's many jerks who have been drafted. Baker Mayfield, I just said Johnny Manziel, Tom Brady is a jerk. Listen,
Johnny Manziel, where's he at today?
He played in the league 4 or 5 years. His time is over. Yeah, he's retired now. He still got drafted highly. He still got paid.
Nobody wanted him no more.
Well, after he came in the league and fell on his face. Now, if Shador comes in and he can't play, it is what it is. But this is not about that. This ain't about. It's about him not being given an opportunity because of certain things that we've seen a million white dudes do, and they still got opportunities. Let me get my chat room. He said. This is Dion. This is Shabaka. He said the man Orlando has to be on dope. Tell that dude to quit fucking with dope. He said teach this brain dead MF Kev. Earl Henning said NFL is good old boys, old white family, and you can't get guaranteed contracts. You can't get a guaranteed contract in NFL. I just said that. Earl, so I agree with you. Said great day, my brothers. Chocolate milk. Said all slaves didn't get picked. He said his daddy in the house. Yeah, Deion has been a father for his children. Ewok said Orlando will take a bullet and die for white people. Damn shame. Earl said I can hear Orlando now. Yes, sir, massa. Y'all going in on Orlando, man. I want Orlando to feel ambushed.
Well, again, Kev, I guess when I come, they can't get mad when I come at these kangaroo guys who want to hop up and hop down. I'm just saying.
Listen. Just don't disrespect the ancestors. You all can go at it all day. I don't care. I want to make this point as well because Kamar, I'm glad you kind of reiterated what I said. That's why I said you got to make your mind up. Do you want us to be fathers and be around and be a parent in our children's lives, or you want us to shut the fuck up? Now, not even on the same level, but a microcosm of it. I was in a conversation with a security guard from my son's school at Milwaukee Lutheran. This was about a month ago. My son graduated last year. My son played 3 sports, track, football, and basketball. By and large, based on his athletic ability, he was not given the opportunities nor the recognition he should have received for what he done. Okay? That's just that. But the whole time my son was at Milwaukee Lutheran, guess who was there at every practice almost, at every game almost? And it didn't have to be sports. If it was a wintertime concert, if it was anything involving parents need to be at the school, guess who was there? His mother and I. We were there. I'm vocal. You don't get to screw him over. You don't get to do that. Especially knowing the work and the dedication that he puts in. Knowing what kind of kid he is. Knowing how much it means to him. As his father, it is my job to protect him. So no, you weren't going to screw him over. You did see me if you came to some of those games after the game, getting ready to get it in with his coach because he tried to disrespect me. So my point is, Kamar, I was visible and I was vocal. This security guard told me, he said, I'm not going to even lie to you. When I first got hired, they pointed you out as one of the parents that we should watch and make sure he was in order. No matter what event, no matter what game, they always told us to watch you. And I said, really? And he was like, yeah, but after a while, I started to realize you wasn't on nothing but just there to support your son. I'm like, I said, I was vocal, though. I was vocal. I was. You know what I'm saying? And so there is a problem with us. If once you see that is a man involved, a black man involved. And if I'm teaching my son the values of a foundational black American, you know how that looks. It's a problem for people. And so they have that problem with Deion. They have that problem with LeVar Ball. They had that problem with Tiger, but Tiger done went to the other side and stayed over there, right? We know that. But every black father that's ever been, it's been an issue, Meanwhile, and it's okay. It's okay because, like I said, he's still got in the league. It's on him now. All the talking and shit is done. All the rah. Now, boy, you got to go out there and ball. That's what I would tell my son. But even his reaction when they found out who made the prank call, he's talked to those little white boys. He said, it's all good, man. Everybody makes mistakes. This ain't your grandfather's Negro. See, that's what I'm saying. We ain't coming apart every time y'all put some bullshit up. We just moving. We just moving to make sure, okay, this is how we move. We gonna show you better than we can tell you. So, I once again, there's a racial connotation to it, but there's always some accountability. You know what I'm saying? There's always something you could have done different because you got to choose to rebel, Kamar. You got to choose to run away from the
everybody say Deion is his fault, right? Why ain't nobody saying that shit's unfair for Shador then? If
people
they
are
blaming it on Deion.
People are.
Well, then start putting a light on that.
Well, because Shador went into some of these interviews with these teams, and I'm pretty sure he's advised by his dad. And my only thing with Deion is to say he ain't playing for this team, he ain't playing for that team, he ain't playing for that team, which is what all the other white coaches did. But Cleveland is one of those teams that Deion said he wouldn't play for. And so they said, it's like, no, we showed you. Hey, lesson learned. Lesson learned.
Well, I guess I can only say again, brother, just because everybody's different and how they express themselves. And if a loudmouth dude is a loudmouth, he gonna probably rub folks the wrong way. It's one of those things.
But it doesn't go both ways, Orlando. You're totally ignoring the fact that there's white quarterbacks and athletes who are 100%. They're 100% more offensive, 100% more cocky, arrogant, and disrespectful than him, and they've gotten drafted highly. That's a fact.
And a loudmouth, bro, I'll tell you, you've been in white locker rooms like I've been in white locker rooms.
What are you talking? What does that have to do? You know who Baker Mayfield is? Do you know who Baker Mayfield is? Huh?
Quarterback.
He's one of and was, especially in college, one of the cockiest, most arrogant prospects to ever come out.
His nickname? Didn't he? Damn, what was his nickname? He even had a nickname. He was so fucking cocky. How about that?
He was drafted very highly and compensated very well, and then he floundered across the league. In Tampa Bay, he's found his footing because he's matured, which is what's going to happen to most young men if when they get an opportunity and they learn how valuable it is. And he's still cocky, but he got drafted, he got compensated. He's on like team 5 right now. Right. He's on his 15.
All I say is this, kid. Again, if you find yourself that you have more mouth and your game can really, show, and it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem.
You don't even know his
It's all-
name. How much game? You don't even know his name. What you mean? You don't know nothing about his game. How can you make that assumption that his mouth don't justify his talent? Do you know any of his stats?
I may have been a little coy in my.
You might have been lying. You talking about you was coy? You was lying. That ain't no coy. That's a lie.
I know who he is. I mean,
right,
everybody.
Of course, right. So you lied, basically. You're a liar.
I ain't lie. I ain't tell you.
I ain't lie. I just didn't tell you the truth.
I mean,
boy, Orlando, you need to be selling hamburgers to all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese.
If he got it, he gonna show, but his mouth got a good trouble,
Ronald McDonald.
If you that good, right?
Stop it. Listen, let me go to my chat room. DeVille Willis, he said Deion 90% to blame for his drop, 90% for the reason he's there. That's an excellent way to look at it. Q Love. And when I say 90% to blame for his drop is because he is his father. He has advocated for him. His son did inherit. Who raised you? You know how they say that? Come on, like, who raised you? His daddy raised him, and you can tell. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he is who he is, and you can't fault this kid because his father is coincidentally probably one of the greatest football players that ever played, and also a Division I football coach who's successful and won games with you playing for him. You can't penalize him for that.
And his son's not that good.
His son is a great quarterback prospect. He's not the greatest player ever, but who is? Tom Brady was a 7th round draft pick. You don't know? You talking about he's not that good. Orlando, you ain't never been able to throw a football like him. What you talking about he ain't that good?
Well, I can catch football though.
So you didn't play on that level. You wasn't even that kind of athlete. You talking about he ain't that good.
But I can assess talent.
No, you can't. If you say he wasn't that good, it's pro scouts who raved over his game. Why would you say he ain't that good?
He ain't as good as his daddy.
Nobody's as good as his daddy. He's the best cornerback of all time.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's not as good.
So don't draft him because he ain't good as Deion. Then nobody in the draft should have got picked.
So he can't talk the talk like Deion can.
Oh my God. Earl Henny said White Constant at his best. Listen, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that, man. Call in. The phone is open. Orlando's hogging the line, but you can still call in. The chat room is still popping. It's Outlaw Radio live. Once again, I'm not a race baiter. So, and I don't need to because, the real is real. So I don't know why people think we can't see racism or racist double standards when they exist. If it's out there, we're going to call it out. We're not going to dwell on it. Now, I see rapper Willie D is saying, hey, let's boycott the NFL. Well, that would be nice. But if we ain't boycott over Colin Kaepernick, and me, myself, I only watch Packer football games. So I have boycotted the NFL for a very long time. I own no NFL merchandise. None. Refuse to buy any. I only watch the Packer game. And shame on me for that, but I'm from Wisconsin, and I can't help it. So my boycott has been long term. Colin's still working out. His girlfriend said 10 years. He's still working. Colin. It's good that you're staying in shape. But they showed you. You chose to kneel. They showed you. This is what we do to little nigger boys. Somebody got to turn their device down. I'm getting echo. But that's what they do. They'll show you. They teach you a lesson. They tried to teach Deion a lesson. Like, yeah, how do we get at you? Because his other son didn't even get drafted, and he was a good player. But he, there was no, he
got drafted. He went to Tampa Bay.
Oh, he signed as a free agent. He didn't get drafted. He got a free agent signing. But here's the thing about his son, his other son. One of the knocks on him is because he had to file for bankruptcy because he has a $36 million lawsuit on him. Now, let me tell you about this lawsuit. He was a high school student, right? And he was a Division I athlete before Deion was coaching college. He actually committed originally to South Carolina. But he was in high school, and a white security guard decided that he was going to take his phone. And so he tried to physically take his phone, and he got hurt. And so he sued for $36 million. Now, why do you think he sued for $36 million? Because Deion Sanders is his dad, and he says he has him. So that knocked his draft status. They said, oh, he had some injuries. He's a little bit older. He's 26 years old. And he has this lawsuit against him. So it's a character issue. If a grown old ass white man try to take my cell phone and get hurt, they say he beat his ass. He got hurt because no, you ain't taking shit. You're not taking nothing. Now, if his daddy wasn't Deion, he'd have took that L. He probably wouldn't even attacked him. So once again, this is white people, white backlash for Deion being who he is, trying to go after his children. That's where that is. That's where that lies. And that's what's wrong with white nationalists, because they do all kinds of tone-deaf shit like that. Ewok says, I bet Orlando thinks Carmelo Anthony is guilty. I don't know that he's not. I haven't heard all the details of the case, Ernest. You might be mad at me too. I don't know. Kamar, you think Carmelo Anthony is guilty? Or what is he? I don't know.
Well, they dropped the charges, so he must not be.
They dropped his charges? No, I thought he just got out on bail.
I think they dropped it. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think I read somewhere where they dropped it.
No, I don't think his charges been dropped. Okay. I know they gave him a bond.
I don't think he's guilty though.
Okay.
But then I don't think he's guilty.
You think it's self-defense?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it was self-defense or something.
Okay. And if George Zimmerman can do Trayvon Martin and all these cases where white people have killed black people down there and they got the stand your ground law, and somebody said I felt threatened, by that definition, he is innocent. I guess, you know, we can't see into his heart, so we don't know what his real intentions were. That's why I'm waiting to hear more details. Orlando, if you're still with us, do you think Carmelo's Anthony is guilty, or do you even know who that is?
Don't know enough about it. Don't know enough about it, but okay. I think there's gonna be a conversation for self-defense.
Okay. That's surprising that you would say that you would even give him the benefit of the doubt, because he killed a white kid.
I don't know why is surprising, Cam? I mean,
because you're Orlando.
You said that nigger boy was guilty. You know, he just came away and said nigger.
The reason why it's surprising is because I've never heard you not agree with white people on this show ever. Or for real, I'm not making it up.
Okay, so you and I are gonna have to do lunch one day, because for whatever reason, I think you got me paying grown. We'll have to do lunch one day.
I hang out with you in real life, but that ain't got nothing to do with you steadily defending white people and white nationalism on the show.
I defend what I believe is right, my friend, no matter what color it is.
Okay, so you don't see color. I forgot. You don't see color. Right? There's no such thing. Orlando, you told me that a long time ago. You said there's no such thing as a black progressive. Get out of here.
As a what?
A black progressive. Remember you told me that? You said... And
black progressive?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, if you say I said it, I'll take you.
No, you most definitely said it. We had a long argument about it. Anyways. And did y'all see Patrick Mahomes come out? Patrick Mahomes. Now let's compare Patrick Mahomes with Shedeur Sanders, right? Patrick Mahomes, biracial, very successful quarterback in the NFL, but is married to a white woman, identifies more with his white side. They love Patrick Mahomes, non-threatening. They would say he's not cocky, but he is, but he's not cocky in the Deion Sanders way. I bet you his belief from his abilities is crazy. I bet you he's a diva to deal with. I bet you, right? But he's not cocky in the cocky nigga way, like my man said, like Kamar said. But he cuts his hair off, and I guess the texture's a little bit smoother, and he says, I can't believe y'all letting me walk around nappy like that. Why y'all tell me my hair was nappy? Now, he might have just been talking. But seeing as how you here with your white girl and your mom's white, it seems like you've chosen a side, Patrick. We don't know. He sounds like Kermit the Frog, which that's why I always laugh when he talks. But there's mentalities in this country, man. It's so... And you know, somebody like him would look at Shedeur and say, I don't need to do all of that. I never know. Come on. Yeah, well, you part white. You're part white. I mean, it changes. If you don't really understand the foundational Black American perspective, it's hard for us to converse with you because you just don't get it. Most white people, especially racist white people, and I wouldn't even, like I said, I don't think most white people are racist. I think most of them are prejudiced. Because there's a difference between prejudice and racism. I'm more prejudiced than I am racist. I can openly admit that I'm prejudiced. I love black people. I want to live in an all black neighborhood. I want to go to all and deal and network with all black organizations.
Hell, I got an all black dog.
Right. That too. Right. I don't have a problem with a white person who says, nah, man, I want to live with my people. I want my people to win. Just be open about it. Be transparent. Just say that. Don't try to spin me. Don't try to do some sneaky shit and then come back around like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Come on, man. Tom, you know what the fuck you did. That's what white people, what do you mean? Dude, come on, man. So, but to the white girl thing, it's just people complained about looking at all the young brothers in the draft, and most of them had white women. Now, Kamar, did you see this complaint? I don't know if this was just observations or from some sisters. I'm pretty sure sisters had already kind of pointed this out. But yeah, most of these young brothers had a Becky on their arm, man. And I don't know if that's just like an accessory that comes with it.
Well, I don't know, man. You know, a lot of the time, I think it'd be because of proximity.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like who they around. You know, like at a lot of them schools, shit, maybe the pickings is less and it's for the sisters. I don't know. But yeah, but you're right though, man. Every year that's exactly what you see.
And proximity is interesting. I like that. I like that you said that because, and I know it can be kind of true to a certain extent because let's face it, a lot of these schools that you go to, especially the big schools, there's the ratio in terms of white women and black women is there's a difference, right? I mean, I think it's up to the young brother potentially. Like I feel like it's on him to understand that he needs to try and make a connection as best as possible because that's what he needs. But I do understand too him saying, "Look, she's nice to me. She treats me well. That's what I got access to. So I'm rocking with her. You know what I mean? Some of them is inadvertent, and some of them is subconscious. And I've said that for a long time. Some black men actually meet a white woman and say, "Nah, man, I love her because of who she is. I'm gonna be with her." Some of them get with a white woman and say, "Ooh, I got the world because she's white." There's a difference between those two kind of perspectives. If you say, "No, I'm just looking for love," it don't matter what color she is, or is you gonna say, "Shit, you can't have shit with a black woman. White ice just colder. I don't care what you say." Like it's that's when I say, see, now you're a buck dancer. Now that's what makes you a coon because you have a preference. Now, my preference is black women because, like I said, I'm prejudiced.
See, I love me some blackness,
and I'm sure they have a name for me too, right? That's how I know, Kamar. If you a bullshitter, you can recognize bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. The only difference between me and them is I'm open and transparent about it. Like, nah, but I also don't hate white people. I don't disregard white people. As a matter of fact, if I meet a white person and he or she is a individual, and I'm not gonna say a cool white person because that means they gotta cater to me or acquiesce to me. No, if he's just a straight up white dude and be like, Kevin, I'm not gonna lie, I've never really, lived next door to a black guy before. I don't really know anything about your culture, but I respect you as a man. And, like if it's that where it's mutual manhood, that's no Diddy. If it's just, and we both just respect each other, your color don't matter. But if you live next door to me and you white and I so happen to see some of them nuances, some of that bullshit, like hanging a flag up in your yard, which I've experienced. All of a sudden you got a Trump flag in your yard. But am I surprised, Kamar? That shark didn't go crazy. That shark went shark. You know what I mean? He's a white dude. So
he did the shark.
Yeah. It's and look at Russell Wilson. I remember Russell Wilson. I was so confused by Russell Wilson. He had the Johnny Mathis. I don't know what that was. He had a conch at Wisconsin. Like, I was like, what did this brother got in his head? And then he had the Becky and he got drafted and he flipped the script and he got with Sierra. And he's had all these children by Sierra. And people say, oh, he a simp. He a square. He's soft. That's the dude who they should be looking at saying he got his money. He got a Super Bowl ring. Russell Wilson done been traded around. You think he give a fuck? He like, dude, I'm paid. What the, who you want me to throw it to?
Yeah, they have been passing him around like a hot horse.
Because eventually, and you got to look at the timeline. The more blacker he gets, the less time he spends with a team. Now, his skills have diminished in some areas. I have to be honest about that. But a white boy get chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. Aaron Rodgers, one of the most cocky white boys ever. This dude done said he done said he didn't ayahuasca. He done came out and lied about his COVID, everything. Still getting 50. Well, he ain't on no team right now, but somebody gonna pay him. Somebody's gonna still pay him. See, that's a double standard. With black dudes, you don't get that long. They're gonna get rid of your ass. White dude, hey, he can play the system. So, and that's a double standard. We're just calling it out. It's not to tell somebody stop trying or give up or whatever. Just call a spade a spade. Let me see. He says, this is Earl. He said Orlando don't have a clue. He said, white people can do no wrong in his life. He said, ask Orlando, do he have some brown sugar or just white sugar in his house? Orlando got a black wife, man. Orlando has black children. Like, I know Orlando. That's what people can't. Why you let him talk? I know this dude, man. Don't understand the Kool-Aid. But it is what it is. Now to just this whole Shannon Sharp thing too. Like here's once again, Kamar, NFL dude, 50-something years old, chasing white OnlyFans girls around. You know what I'm saying?
For that.
Putting the straight mandingo. That's his whole theme. He big mandingo. He didn't say this. I'm paraphrasing because some of the stuff when you see the text or the conversations, it's about him with this aggressive over the top sex, and then she mentioning doing the unthinkable to his unthinkable regions.
What she say he did? I ain't heard nothing because I really don't. That
she
shit
said
right
what
there.
She wanted to do to him, and
you know what Dion, you watch.
I don't.
Well, let's just put it like this: it was above and beyond the realm of normal sex, right? And so,
yeah.
And so, but this is,
I know
guess,
the
MO.
Trump administration trying to cut federal grants from the Whitney plantation in Louisiana that I've been to. They trying to do that. That's what I know.
Yeah, we had to talk about that on a different show because I don't know nothing about that. I'm talking about Shannon Sharp. I want to look at this because here's this dude, Kamar. Now think about a year ago, where was Shannon Sharp at this point?
He was riding high with Cat Williams when they came out and exposed everybody.
You muted, Kamar.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Fucking with Cat Williams around that time.
He was at the top. He had bucked the entire system, right?
Yep.
If you remember, get into it with Skip. Skip is demeaning you. People laughing at you. All of a sudden, Skip told you, put your glasses back on. He just put his glasses back on. Right? Then he break loose. Stephen A said, "Now come over here at ESPN." He blow up Schweitz even more. Then he said, "I'm gonna start a podcast, Club Shay Shay." Club Shay Shay has been the toast of the town for the last year. From what I hear, I don't want to go Bill Cosby, who's finna buy NBC-ish, but he was on the verge of a $100 million contract somewhere or with a podcast. And maybe this is not true, but it's very coincidental that these now second lawsuit from a little white girl comes out, right? And even if they're false, the accusations and the details of him sexually have been put out there. His reputation is soiled. It doesn't matter what he does from now on. The first thing they're going to say is, well, he had this lawsuit. And so is this another case of, see, black man, that's why you got to be careful. They're saying he had a nigga moment. They're saying, you got too coonish, and I don't know if Shannon is a coon. I know he's a country dude, a Southern dude. But the funny part to me is that how don't Southern dudes like black women? Now, I heard Tracy Ellis Ross say men her age are too toxic. That's why she dates younger. Now, apparently that's the case with her too.
Didn't he?
Huh?
I think I saw a picture of her and him, and they were saying he dated her, showing a bunch of pictures. Like different black women who he dated, and
I've never seen him with a black woman.
It was like, then he went out like this and showed the picture of the little girl.
I've never seen him with it. I don't know that. And come on,
I never seen him and thought he was with anybody.
I never seen him with a black woman. I've seen him on pictures. I've seen him on pictures with a lot of white women. I have. And then, like you say, there's the accusation that he was really in a relationship with his stylist. What's his name? Hollywood. And then they got pictures of him at the game with Lil Dog with him. So and the fact that he likes a certain part played with, you know what I mean? Like, well, where smoke is fire, right? Like, I don't want to do that because I don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. But I look at somebody like Jamie Foxx. There's a bunch of celebrities who are black who you've never seen with another black person in terms of a wife or a husband. And I often say, how is that? Once again, it's not a knock on interracial relationships, but I wonder how many of them are by okay, I met somebody, I fell in love with them versus this is what I have to do to be better. Do you think about the irony of Don Cornelius, the founder, the conductor of Soul Train, ended up married to a white woman who fleeced him for half his fortune and left him, and he killed himself. Now he didn't commit suicide based on his wife leaving. I don't want to put that out there. He had cognitive issues, and we didn't know he had a brain condition for a very long time. But I'm just saying, it's just so. Look at Quincy Jones. Look at all of the big time stars. Black, white woman, white man. You know what I mean? Like we get to the point where we ain't good enough for each other. Like it's
Frederick Douglass had a white woman.
He went all the way back.
Understand.
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. Dude, I'm good. You know what? I was looking at something earlier. I should have shared it in the People's Network about this girl. She was from the Gulfport of Mississippi. My grandfather was from Arkansas. I never been with a white woman. You know this, and I've said it many times. I just don't trust white people like that. You know, I've learned to live with them because you ain't got no other choice. But like, far as trusting them and fucking on them, that's just not my thing.
I can really validate Kamar's conversation about proximity, because I was in school a long time ago, far away, and as a heterosexual male with no girlfriend,
and you young,
I listen. I make no apologies, no excuses. But the one thing I knew for sure, that it wasn't for me. I never had a relationship. You wasn't coming home. I'm gonna meet you. You know you don't. Matter of fact, I never even claimed.
You like the Becky, Kev?
Huh?
You like the Becky?
The who?
The Becky.
I don't know if her name was Becky. I don't remember what her name was. It was 30 years ago.
Nobody?
I like women, and so back then I liked women.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at this like, oh, and I had friends, like we can have this conversation. I had friends and teammates who said, man, these white girls, that it became a preference for them. It wasn't, I just fell in love, and some of them, maybe it had been, it probably became that. But most of it was them having a feeling that white girls would treat you better, or they were easier to deal with, and all of that. My mom told me very, very openly and clearly when I left, you going to school, you ain't going to get no girlfriend or make no baby. So don't come back here with no little baby and some white girl. If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. I know it's a cliche, but that is what my mama said. So I knew that, hey, when I'm not in North Dakota, no, you would never see that. You never see that. And so that's not an excuse. I mean, people can say, well, you're a hypocrite then. Call me what you want. I've been called worse. But my wife is a black woman, and my children are black. And now I chose and fell in love with her. It wasn't, and from day one, it wasn't.
I got black sugar. I got black sugar in my house.
Brown sugar, Orlando, not black sugar. Brown sugar.
Well, it's black sugar for me.
It's black for him. He got his own sugar. So yeah, you said that I like the Becky. I like that. That's a funny question. That's a funny question.
Well, I'm with you, Kev. I love women who are beautiful, who pleasure me. So I love women. It doesn't matter what coffee shop.
Oh shit.
I like women. Don't matter. They look good to me. They look good to me. I'm a connoisseur of beauty. That's all.
Listen, where I'm at right now in this stage in my life, if I ever was not like if me and my wife weren't together, I know I would have to have a black woman. There's no way I would even. Now I know, like, no, I believe the black woman and the black man are what's needed for us, because I feel like we can't really rebuild our community or reestablish our family structure if we don't do it amongst us. So at this point, I'm not 19, man. We talking 30 something years ago. What did I really know? I didn't know nothing. All I knew was, hey, man, I'm 19. I'm in North Dakota and I'm horny. That's all I knew. So, it was like Kamar said, it's proximity. That's why I'm glad you made that distinction, Kamar, that some of those young brothers might not be coons, but they might say shit. And a lot of them, let's be honest, some of these brothers, football, all they really ever had. Chicks wasn't checking for them. Right? Like, let's just put it like that. Some of these dudes is
and then football got him the girl.
Right. Well, they wasn't getting no rhythm in the hood. Then when he got to Georgia and he was an NFL prospect, white girl said, hey, let's go, Lathon. Right. And he said, all right. So, it's perspective. That's why I'm not overly critical of somebody who's in an interracial relationship. I can't just say that makes you a coon. I believe it is based on your perception. Are you with your significant other and she's white because you feel like white women are better inherently than black women? Then that's the issue, because then if you do that, then you won't mind whitewashing yourself. Pretty soon you'll be a black man trying to be white because you have a white woman, as opposed to being a strong black man who just fell in love with a white woman. Love makes the difference. I guess that's my point.
Big point. So my only takeaway, man, find somebody who loves you.
That's good. Find somebody who loves you, right? And that's, sometimes, like we said, sometimes there's a brother who wasn't attractive until he won the Heisman. I mean, that's just like an ugly dude who get money. All of a sudden, he get rhythm from girls. That to the victors go to spoils.
I don't want to go backwards, but the man Travis Hunter went like in the top 5, right?
Travis Hunter went third overall.
Second.
Did he go second, or I thought he went third?
Yeah, Jacksonville traded up to number 2.
Okay, so he went second. I stand corrected. He went second. Well, Travis Hunter is a different kind of, but see, he comes from humble beginnings.
He got a white girl.
Is she white? I don't know what she is. I believe she's Latina.
He thought he wasn't that cute and all that type of stuff. I'm just asking.
Perfect example, Orlando. Perfect example. Like, she was like, oh no, at first I didn't even pay him any attention because he's not my quote unquote type. Now, if you look at Travis Hunter, no Diddy, what is he? Do you say, oh, he's a handsome young man? I mean, listen, this conversation can get very, very bad. Let's just say, and he's kind of awkward. I mean, he's a football prodigy. So, and so he wasn't the most popular with the ladies. His personality is way different. He's not like Shador, but he's also a little bit more controllable than Shador because he comes from meager beginnings. Like, we touched on the fact that Shador he come from money. He's going to be all right. So he ain't really got to, Travis Hunter got to get in line. Because he don't.
Manziel came from money. Johnny Manziel came from money.
Well, actually, that's a miss. And I heard him say this. That's actually not true. They hyped that up. Johnny Manziel's father had a business, but he wasn't rich. They made that up to add to his mystique. Okay. Yeah. So I watched his documentary. It's 30 for 30. That's the only reason I know that. And his dad said, well, I just played along with it. Yeah, I'm a business owner. I'm middle class at best, but I wasn't wealthy. But they told the story that he came from all his money. It's not true. It's not true.
Lying motherfucker.
I wasn't a fan of his attitude. I wasn't a fan of Johnny Touchdown. Just to be clear.
Johnny Football.
I didn't like him either. He was too. I'm never the guy that likes the loudmouth. Never.
Well, I think when you're in a situation where you're getting exploited from each and every way, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta be careful with telling somebody to be humble all the damn time. Listen, if the people in the stands, because I'm paying the bills. Because, like, what you say, ain't nobody come to hear you sing, Otis. The people fill that stadium up to see Travis Hunter, to see Shador. to see
I think
Deion
that's-
Sanders. So why
I
wouldn't
think-
he say, no, y'all got to pay me?
I think there's a difference between being a loudmouth and being a jerk, being somebody who's confident. I think there's a difference. I think we all know that guy. We all know a guy on the team who's like, the dude's a dude, but he's a jerk. But also we know a guy who's a dude who's like, the dude's cool. He's a cool teammate. I think we know the difference.
Well, sometimes the jerk is a great teammate if he's cocky and arrogant because he leads us to victory. And I tell you something else. What you're doing right now is just kind of regurgitating because we said that, but the problem here is that usually when that individual's white, he still gets said opportunity. If he's black, he gets cut off at his knees. That's the double standard we were talking about.
I guess, man, I don't see it a lot in sports like that. I think in sports is kind of one of the
Hey,
great people.
Hey, when white quarterbacks be the top quarterbacks, like what was his name? Trevor Lawrence from Jacksonville. Like when he came out, they was talking about him like, oh, he's the greatest quarterback ever to come out of college. You know what I'm saying, man? They shot him up, man. They did the talking for him. And he was pretty cocky himself. He came out on it.
Tim Tebow bowed years before Colin Kaepernick did, and they gave him praise for it.
I think it's all about, again, it's about, I guess, the perception of people, or they think about you. Deion, it must be the money, must be, whatever. He brought that same oil to his kids, and they got that same flag.
Wow.
They ain't with it.
I do understand from a team perspective. I can say this. A lot of times coaches don't want distractions in the locker room, right? They don't want what they call a circus, right? And there's certain players, it just comes with them, right? Like, over the years, we've all like Beckham and T.O. and some of these, even Deion to a certain degree. Now you got a circus. Now you got a Dennis Rodman, right? You got a circus in your locker room and you got to deal with it. And it can either destroy a team or it can help a team. But a lot of those owners are like, I don't know if I want to deal with, I got enough issues. I don't know if I want to deal with that because now every move, because look, they also drafted the other guy from Oregon. And he actually was way earlier picked than Shador. So now we got him, this white boy, and we got Shador, but Shador comes with this built-in entourage. So now it's going to affect the development of the white boy, and they're going to say, well, it's not fair to him. And then you got controversy because their starting quarterback, Joe Flacco, is like 9 million years old. And I like Joe Flacco, but he's just really old. And when he gets hit, he's going to be like, all right, enough of this shit. I'm going to go have a seat. Now, who you going to put in? If Shador proves himself. Now, if he comes out and he sucks ass, it is what it is. Then, son, have a seat. Have a seat.
I saw the Cam little video with him and Shakur, or Deion's son going at it. He was like, bro, you got inflated numbers. You do bubble screens and check down.
They was playing around, by the way. They was joking with each other. It was competitive banter, but I did see that as well.
He's like, man, I ain't got no running game. He's like, man, I don't got one either. That's not my fault. But again, I'm like, okay, so let's put up the numbers and see what it is. And like you said, he got an opportunity. Let's see if he's gonna make the money, keep a chip on his shoulder. The second time,
I tell you what, Cam Ward better realize he gonna learn real quick. In the NFL, you better know how to throw check downs. He better learn how to throw check downs. Let me tell you something. In the NFL, if you can't throw a check down, it's gonna be a long season for you, and you won't be playing long. Because you're talking about a whole different level of athleticism. You ain't throwing that ball up in the air like that no more. You ain't every play. I'm just going deep. Oh, no. Sometimes dink and dunk is the offense. 5 here, 6 here, 7 there. So we can move. It's about driving the football, not always about throwing a deep ball. So Cam will learn that. He'll learn.
I think Deion's younger son, the cornerback, is actually going to be better than the quarterback.
The safety. He's a safety.
He's going to be better than his brother, the quarterback. If I had to put some money on it, I think he's going to have a longer, more processed career than quarterback.
Anything can happen, and a lot of this depends on if you get injured or not, and what team you're on, what system you're in. There's a lot of variables, so we never know. I mean, I think that's a toss up. I don't think anybody can say, "Oh, hell no." I mean, you look at Brock Purdy, who was the last pick in the NFL draft. who just got what? How much? $40 million a year? Got first round draft picks booted out of town, right? Like, so you know.
But it also shows you if you can be a game manager and not make, costly interceptions or costly turnovers, just manage the game and let the team around you be good, then you have a long career in the NFL.
That means throw check downs. That's what it means.
I'm with you.
You know how to get that damn ball out your hand. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. I take you there. I go there.
Anybody get any information on Steve the Stoner? Shout out to Steve the Stoner. I know they were circulating this picture of him being arrested. I seen Lockhart Media have him coming out of the county today. People saying it's a murder case and all this kind of stuff. I don't have any further news on it, but I just was like, oh, this would be messed up if this brother, because I think he's doing a great job in representing the city. And I like how his movement is gone. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little tired of seeing the dance now, but the more I see it, the more somebody got to say Milwaukee when they talk about it. And props to all these young hip hop artists, man, who in this thing and really making the city accountable. Now, listen, once again, hip hop ain't what it used to be. It's not the one we kind of came up with, but really, when somebody can rise above this shit right here and get a movement going, I'm all for it, right? So I'm hoping this brother's legal problems don't hold him back, man, because I don't. Once again, say that again.
Is that Deion breathing?
I don't know,
bro. Dude. I'm ignoring you, but it's past my bedtime, man. I gotta get out here and clean that trash in the morning. It's always beneficial. I'm watching some shit on MSNBC. That's what I was watching about this old garbage ass Trump. I hope we do go in a recession. So, dude on the phone. Well, it's not all that bad. It's gonna be all right. We just having tough times right now. Yeah, I'm laid off, and I don't have no insurance for my family and my kids. But we're going to get past it, go Trump 2028, and that's just how it is, But, Kev, I'm going to let y'all go, man. I'm going to finish listening to y'all, man. I doze off a little bit. Motherfucker past his bedtime, got to get up at 4:45, So I love y'all, man. So always keep it real. If I come across any information, I'm going to share it in the People's News Network. Y'all be cool, man, and watch that informant on the line, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gone.
All right, man. All right, shout out to you.
All right, man. Be cool. Yes, sir.
Earl Henny said, love my meats cooked. He said, no raw meat. He said, Orlando, did you play any organized sports? And
did I ever play sports?
Yeah.
I played many organized. I played college ball and also had a couple CBA lists. So, yeah, I played a lot of sports. Football, basketball, baseball, tennis. Yeah, I'm an athlete.
Oh, you was? You was Orlando. I don't know if you know. I don't know about now.
I think we all can go past our prime, but yeah.
I'm just saying because I used to be an athlete, but I'm nowhere near it now. No, I'm not. I was. I always add was. Man, I was an athlete. I don't be like I'm an athlete. It's like no, you ain't. Not no more, Kev. Yeah, okay. I do remember Travis, and his father was allowed to come to the draft. Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter is a success story, man, because it's hard to get out of these neighborhoods, man. And it's hard to be a young black kid who comes up in all this chaos and keeps his focus, finds something that he loves that motivates him and really stick to it. Because we see him getting taken off the planet all the time, falling for the okie doke, getting misled, especially if you got a dad who's in and out. Maybe he's incarcerated and stuff like that. So when I seen his thing with his girl, I didn't really put a whole bunch of mustard on it. I just felt like, well, hey, I'm really just appreciative of the fact that he liked girls. Like, I mean, he could have came out, this could have been different. So, I just was like, okay, Travis, you'll, cause he'll learn. You're gonna learn. You live long enough, you will learn. Trust me. It ain't nobody who I don't know anyone who peaked at 18 and then rode off into the sunset. No. That's not the way this thing goes. He said, and who likes you to NFL? I don't know what that means. Tiasha said in the whole Milwaukee, it said that he was caught with very little weed. Yeah, these dudes now, I mean, I feel like dudes in Milwaukee move like weed is legal anyways. And they've changed this thing where now you got a pound, up to a pound, you just get a ticket, right? Like it's You know what I mean? Because I be in traffic, I'm telling you, I be like, dude, I know that ain't me smoking. This shit smell like it's in my car. And you see people, I see people all the time just smoking, just drive. They be all on live, driving down the street. So if that's all it was, hey man, good.
Well, we're not enforcing nothing right now. I mean, we got a lot of issues going on. You got the police back in the schools. You got homicides and people set things on fire. We're not really enforcing all of the laws, Kev. You know that.
Well, apparently they're enforcing some because he went to jail. Somebody pulled him over and took him to jail.
Hey, what's funny is Orlando just said we not enforcing the laws.
Right, he said we. You notice that? Kamari? After Deion called him an informant, he said, well, we ain't really enforcing all the laws right now, Kev.
So, I am a law abider, so I consider that.
Oh, man. We start calling you Black Captain America, man. You are Captain America.
Hey, I'm a law abider too. Hey, listen, I'm a law abider too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't refer as the police as we. You know what I'm saying? Enforcing laws.
Okay. Well, we also letting people out the back though. So that we also at the immigration thing. So that I just say we.
I ain't we with them either.
Right, who's this we? I ain't letting nobody out. What you?
I'm a black man. Them motherfuckers don't like me either. What you talking about?
Society is not really enforcing laws like that. Society.
Hey, Orlando, you know what?
Yes,
say there ain't no I in team, but it sure as hell ain't no we.
That's what they say now. They said there's no I in team,
but it sure as hell ain't no we. It ain't no we in team either. So
well, I think that Kobe Bryant said something to that effect.
That man, black man, been saying that forever. I heard that when I was a little kid. It's like, hey, I ain't team. Ain't no we either, motherfucker.
We're gonna have to come to some type of agreement then. Either we're gonna win together or we're gonna lose together. What we gonna do?
Right. Well, we'll see.
Really good players. Because we couldn't get the we together, we all lost together.
Yeah, no, that's not what that means.
I've been on teams
that's not what that means, but you can interpret it that way. But that's not what that means.
I don't know.
What it means is I'm gonna tell you what it means. What it means is don't try to come to me about some team sacrifice when it's needed, but when I need something for me, I don't get it. You want me to make a sacrifice for y'all, but when it comes to something for me, I don't get it. So you're gonna tell me it ain't no I in team. Right. And that's why you say there's no we either, meaning I'm going to look out for my best interests within the realm of the scope of the team. I can be a great teammate by being self-aware and doing what I got to do for myself. Groupthink is too much. I can't. We can't fall victim to groupthink.
What I differ is this. In the team, you will find your individual accolades. But if you're about your own individual accolades, you ain't about the team.
Well, that's not true either, because you can be on a team, and it depends on who dictates the system, because the system might be exploitive. Especially when we start talking about sports. Look at the Patriots, or look at all these organizations that have won. Most of the greatest players in the NFL don't even finish up with the team they started with, because they move on from you. They get all they can out of you, and then they move on from you. That's why you got to demand that you get paid. That's why you got to hold out for your money. You got to get it while it getting's good. That involves a me perspective. No, you have to pay me so I can come in there and be within the team. Ain't no I sacrifice myself for everybody. Ain't not that's an old Negro mantra. No.
I don't know about a old mantra, but I do understand that there is a selfish component in teamwork or in any corporation that.
Well, if you understand that, then you arguing for practice because you agreeing with me. You just arguing to hear the sound of your own voice.
What I disagree with is the heavy emphasis on I got to get me.
Oh well, you operate like that and see long term how that works out for you. It's proven. Once again, most pro athletes when they retire, I think it's something like 85% of all pro athletes are broke or are declaring bankruptcy within 7 years of their retirement.
Okay.
Most of them. And a lot of times it's because they didn't take the time to say, let me make sure I take care of me and mine. They try to help everybody. They try to be for everybody. I want to be the face of this team until you hurt your knee. and they got a young buck that
Or
they
they
can
want to
pay,
see the face
and
of
they
the-
can
or they want
pay
to see the
a
face
half.
of
They
the
can pay that
community.
person $2 million less than you, and then they cut you. And what you got?
Or you want to do or you want to take the whole hood with you. I'm gonna put on my whole block, right? So that don't have any
yeah,
sense.
you trying to make something where there's not. It's,
I'm just saying, bro.
you're making lemonade in your head. It's not even a thing that you're talking about. You can't. Once again, you can never argue against somebody looking out for their best interests. I don't give a damn what team, what organization, what company, what party. You have to look out for your best interests. You cannot allow people. You cannot allow people to program you and indoctrinate you to the point where you're selfless, because you're gonna end up getting fucked over. That's a proven fact in this life. So Earl says Delta 9 is at the smoke shop. Well, Delta 9, Kamar, I mean, is that the one that is like weed-ish? But they say if you put fire to it, it does actually have potency, but you have to like smoke it in order for it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Delta
that's what's
9.
legal here. That's what's legal to sell.
Okay. Delta 9. Okay. And so, yeah, that's what. See, it's legal in Minneapolis, but you don't have permission to sell what they call flower. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't sell the THC. The THC content has to be a certain percentage, right? Earl Henning said, paid slavery in the big bucks NFL. We use that. We say that the combine does look like a slave auction, but I look at it more like an evaluation period. And I don't know that this is paid slavery. I think it's paid subjugation, because you do got to do what the fuck you told and play the game like we want you to play if you want this money. Is it slavery? I don't know that is. I think a slave would look at it and say, you crazy in a motherfucker. No, this is not slavery. This is not what we do. So we say that. Black people say that.
Like you went, and talk about the quarterback and talk about how he's not taking this, not taking that. But you just said, "Are you gonna come play the ball? We want you to play."
Wait, what'd you say? I said, what about the quarterbacks? Because it seemed like you didn't really have none, but you tried to drop something in there and mumble it, and you didn't think I would hear it.
I said what I said.
What did you say?
You've been talking about Deion's quarterback son, like, well, he's a strong man. He gonna be what he gonna be. But you just said, like, what you just said, like, well, are you gonna come play the ball we want you to play here?
Do you realize?
Like, okay, so
do you understand context? Do you understand what context is? Because if you do, you would understand the context of the last conversation and comment. Earl said it was paid slavery. I said it. I don't know if it's paid slavery, but it's paid subjugation, because you are paid to subjugate yourself and do what you are told. And if you rebel against it, you don't get the money. And I said Shador and his dad have stood as symbols of rebelling against the traditional system. That's why he fell to the 5th round. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, and let's be also clear. Deion Sanders didn't not, conform to the NFL. He played ball. Deion Sanders was not out here, the system is killing me. And he wasn't some type of advocate for the athletes like that.
You know what Deion Sanders was? You know what he was? He was an individual who didn't allow them to put limits on what he wanted to do, because he played professional baseball and football at the same time, which they didn't want him to do. Each organization wanted to say, no, you can't do this. He said, I do what I want to do. He was also one who made sure that he got his money up front. He understood the importance of him getting paid, and he dictated his own career. He was not held captive by any organization. When he left Atlanta, he went to San Francisco. When he left San Francisco, he went to Dallas. When he left there, he went to Baltimore. When he left there, he went to Washington. And each time he got a heavy, heavy payday, and he was under his own terms. So,
and I don't know if you heard a problem with Deion and his attitude and what he thought in the locker room. I don't remember Deion even having that issue in the NFL.
He didn't. As cocky as he was a playmaker, and he loved the game.
So don't got no attitude.
He loved playing with him.
Hold on, Shador ain't got no attitude either.
Say that again, Kamar.
Shador ain't got no attitude either. He just confident. His confidence make other people insecure.
He's a quarterback. Who wants a soft, meek, humble quarterback?
Right.
Because if he was really quiet and low key, they'd be like, well, the knock on him is that they don't know if he has the fire the fire in his belly that's needed to lead an organization. See, that's what I'm saying. Just like what Orlando tried to do, he tried to create a framework that went nowhere about something I said that was inaccurate about paid subjugation versus paid slavery versus playing the game and versus getting paid or not getting paid. They don't mind spinning the narrative just for the sake of hearing themselves talk. That's just what you just did.
Not true at all. I'm just putting it out there.
No, everybody heard it. What you mean it's not true? Go back and listen to the show. You still never even told me. You still never even finished the sentence on. You said but then you said and you faded out.
Was in one moment you want to say, well, everybody got to advocate for themselves. You got to be his own man, his own voice. He gonna be what he gonna be. But at the same time, you come out and say, well, wait a minute. We want to look at people who want to run this game the way we want to play this game.
And what I said is, if you don't do it, you won't get paid. So what's the problem? You have a choice.
The problem is pick your poison, right? So if you want to be this guy,
right? I said that's what I said. He chose to resist. He chose not to do it their way. So he suffered. He went to the 5th round. How are you trying to spin this into something that like this is just stop it? Just stop it. Stop it, Orlando. Stop it. He said it'll be. Earl said he'll be clean. He'll be starting. I seen somebody say he would be starting for Cleveland this year. We'll see. I know he has a football acumen. He's been around the game. He's gonna have the right people in his ear. I think he knows his preparation, knowing how to prepare, and having a dad and having big time college experience. I think that's going to benefit him. Unless physically he can't compete, which we don't know yet. Then I think he will be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I do believe that. You know what? I thought it was funny as we talk about who's who and who's what. The Philadelphia Eagles were invited, of course, like all world champs, to come to the White House to meet the president, take pictures and whatnot. And there were several Eagles who said, well, I ain't going to be able to make it because I got a scheduling conflict. One of which was Jalen Hurts, their black quarterback, who everybody loves, incidentally, except for white haters who for years have, just because he's a black man and does it the black way, look what happened to him at Alabama. In the NFL, there's nothing but doubters. So good to see him get a Super Bowl ring. He didn't show up. He said, I got a scheduling conflict. But you know who did show up, Kamar? Saquon Barkley. You know who Saquon Barkley is? Saquon got him a Becky on his side.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, look, he did the whole, I respect the office. Can I please just go and sit with my president and not worry about politics? Woo, can you hear the violin playing?
Okay.
I heard the tapping and shit.
Jimmy Crack Corn and I don't care. Jimmy Crack Corn and I don't care.
Hey, you heard.
That's the wildest thing ever, Ken. So
stop it.
He wasn't the only black man who was there.
He wasn't. But when he got criticized, he gave the typical "I'm married to a white woman" response. Now, it's not all brothers who married to white women, like I said, but there's a uniform, there's a procedure here, and he put the hat on. Can I just respect him? What did Nelly say? I respect the office.
There is a type. Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. Nelly got Ashanti though, so yeah.
It's crazy how we jump on black men who make their own decisions and make their own mind, but we just spend the whole hour and a half talking about how black men make their own decisions. That's a lot of things.
If you make a counterproductive, coonish, buffoonish decision, then we're gonna call you on it. You still got the right to make it. Listen, if Shador was buck dancing with a mouthful of gold and he was shucking and jiving, I'd call him out on that shit and be like, dude, need to tone that shit down. That's some of the problems we had with Shannon. Where at certain points, Shannon, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, what you talking about? Are you serious? He got the gossip in here. He got people, all of a sudden, he started having Amber Rose and all these people on his show. I'm like, bruh. And then you have a nigga moment where they say, excuse me.
Yeah. So only black men who marry black women are black. This is like crazy, bro. So every black man who married a white woman, he got some tendencies. But every black man who married a black woman, you know where they are.
Orlando, have you been listening to the show for the past hour and a half? I know you like to. I know you like to
Yeah,
twist it
y'all.
for the sake of your own
You
narrative.
listening
but
for the sponsors.
I distinctly said, there are some, it doesn't necessarily make you a coon because you have a white woman. And there are some brothers who met a woman and just fell in love. It didn't matter what race she was. But there are some who have preconceived notions and misconceptions, and they've been programmed to think white women are inherently better and white people are inherently better and everything white is better. That is an actual fact. I said that. So once again, what it means when I see a young brother with a young sister, I say, okay, he's trying to figure it out in terms of our family structure and building a legacy for his people, him and his people. Now, do it mean if you got a black woman that y'all ain't gonna get divorced? No, it doesn't. Absolutely does not. It doesn't mean that if he get a white woman, if he falls in love with her and says, man, she done treated me better than any woman I ever had. What can I say to that? You a sellout. That's not what it means. But if you one of them dudes who want to whisper to me, you know, I got a white girl, so man, I got all these special benefits. Man, look how beautiful my white girl is. I'm gonna look at you sideways and say, man, go on with that bullshit. You got the right to do what you want to do, but everything you do ain't what's for us, and everything that you do ain't good for us. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand. You trying to make it seem like I'm contradicting myself when I'm not. I'm not. But I am a lot more happy when I see us with us. Yeah, I told you I'm prejudiced. Did you hear that part?
I heard you say that.
Okay, so then why would you question me? Of course, I think black men and black women should be married and together and in relationships and dealing with each other and learning each other and figuring each other out, building families, building wealth, building legacies. Yes, I absolutely believe that. But if it don't happen for you, it don't happen for you. I think who somebody just said you find somebody who love you. That's the most important part.
I said that, Kel.
Okay, well, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know if you said, because all I ever hear you doing is defending white people. So when you do say something sensible, I kind of miss it.
There you go.
I know. Yeah.
What is this about?
Yeah. What is that about? Come on, Kevin. Come on. What are you talking? This outlaw thing is out of control. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think somebody's whispering. It's not me. What is he getting that from?
What is this all about? So you mean to tell me, because I love white women, I'm a sellout?
I'm just saying.
Orlando, you making this shit too fun for me tonight. Kamar, we gonna get out of here, man. It's almost 10 o'clock, man. Listen,
I'm having fun listening, man. I'm having a ball.
It's
I'm just saying, it's
pure entertainment. It is, man.
Orlando, you really should call in more often.
You should, man. I mean, we might have to send this brother a link, man. We got to
send you a link. Hilarious. This shit was hilarious.
We got to get you a link, man. Forget the phone. We got to get Orlando. What you doing? What you doing next Monday?
Man, I can make myself available.
I know you can. I know you can. I'm gonna send you a link next week. You ain't gonna have to worry about being on the phone.
All right, yeah.
I'm put a camera in front of your ass. Your ass, you have earned your spot.
I'm not hard to find.
You are the new outlaw, man.
Well, I didn't know
was hilarious, bro.
Oh shit. Oh man, this dude, man.
We need to have discussions.
Hey, it is. It's beautiful. Earl said my mother had 11 kids, and I have one brother who like Orlando, but he has a mixed kid, and I love the shit out of her. Yeah, man.
I got one brother that's like Orlando.
I like my berry black.
He said he like Orlando, but he got a mixed kid.
I don't know what this means.
Like Orlando. He said you're like. He said he's like Orlando.
He's a free thinker, like Orlando.
We have a word. Okay. We have a word in the community for you, Orlando. We have a word for you.
What's that word, bro? Yeah, what's that word?
OMG, you're such a geek in my clear people voice. That's TR Arthur. Oh my God.
I don't know what that word is.
Oh my God. This outlaw radio is out of control. Kamar, come on, man. I love everybody.
And I
feel and think what I want to think and feel. I'm a free man.
Orlando, when you come on next week, when you come on the panel next week, we're gonna give you a chance to talk. I'm about to close this show out. Kamar, what you got popping this week, man?
Hey, the House of Vitality, man. We building immune systems up here, man. Y'all come on up. Pull up, holler at me.
Yeah, man. Y'all be real safe. It is getting warmer. We know that, when Milwaukee is the most beautiful place in the world. in the summertime, but you also got to keep your head on a swivel. It's always something to talk about, man. It's always something that needs attention. You know, sometimes you have to prioritize the things that you pay attention to. And I think if we start to prioritize what's important versus things that are not as important, I think our awareness will become better. Like we'll be way more aware of things that we should be really, up in arms about. I talked about this Shedeur Sanders thing, but at the end of the day, it's still rich people problems because he's still going to make millions of dollars. His dad still has millions of dollars. I think as a father, I'm just more appreciative of the fact that his dad created a situation through his own abilities to secure a world where his kids don't have to eat crow. They can go into situations and have the same kind of attitude as the other side. Like, I don't need this shit. I'm not kissing your ass. I'm not subjugated in that regard. I hope that I can do that for my children. That was my prayer. That was one of my goals, and to make my kids have a more of an advantage than I had. My parents did it for me. They made sure that I had more advantages to succeed and more opportunities to succeed than they had. And I've tried to recreate that with mine. And I hope my son does it with his. That's lineage. That is building up legacy. That is establishing and breaking curses, actually, and ending generational poverty and dysfunction, man, and moving towards some progressiveness. In the meantime and in between time, the only thing that we really ask you to do is share the show and show us love, man. We don't want no money. You don't have to hit the Cash App unless you want to. Shout out to Kamar and his OG apparel, and shout out to the upcoming Outlaw apparel. Support us in that way and share the show, and that's all we want. We talk about a lot of different things, and everybody has a point, and everybody has a perspective. But at the end of the day, it matters not what you say, but more about what you do. So in other words, don't allow your criticism of the community to outweigh your contribution to the community. Because if it does, then ultimately we'll just call you a coon. I'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace and love.